And we should be live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rollsicle. My name is Nathaniel. I'm the host here of the channel, and hopefully all of this is going well. Very different set review here, but we realized with the chaos of school starting here soon, / day of recording and streaming this for Ashley, my beautiful wife and co-owner of the channel, we didn't get our set review videos out. And while we like to do one a day leading up to pre-release is in 2 days. So we are going to just stream it, get my opinions on the cards out there, and excitedly await Tuesday of next week, or the 11th, I believe it is, which will be the pre-release for us, because we will be doing our digital pre-release on Arena, not going in person. Big transition for us, but yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll get to do more technically with the cards. We just want to actually have like physical cards to show for it. But right now we don't have a whole lot to do with that. We made a whole video talking about it. You guys can check it out. It might actually not be out by the time this is, but it will eventually come out and you guys can see our updated Magic video. So yeah, if you don't know how this works, I'm going to be rating the cards from 1 to 10, and I guess technically from 0 to 10. 10 being this is an absolute bomb, you never skip it, and it probably wins the game as soon as you play it. Or you probably will win the game as soon as you play it, eventually. 0, of course, being completely unplayable. Excuse me. A lot of cards are going to fit in that kind of interim, that middle. But yeah. You're going to see a lot of like 3s, 4s, and 5s from me. But every once in a while, I'll throw out a number other than that. So here we go. For some reason, they decided to start with some colorless cards in there, ordering them in number order. So, such as life. Long-bodied gray dog. What a name for a magic card. 3 mana, 2/2 with flash and reach. When it enters, you create a tap treasure token. I mean, typically these sort of rampy creatures can be pretty good. In Marvel right now, we have Ant-Man's Army, which does this, but doesn't have reach and is a 3/2, but can make a food or a treasure. But I don't think the treasure is tapped. Generally speaking, this feels a lot weaker to me. It doesn't have quite as much power, so it doesn't hit as hard. The reach is okay, but can somebody explain to me how this regular dog that is, I guess, capable of handling bowls and spoons, it has reach? I don't know. That seems a little much, but it is what it is. It's good, but it's not anything crazy. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I feel like there's going to be significantly stronger cards in the set. Moving on, we have Old Thrush, 2 mana, 1/2 flyer, bird. Whenever it enters, you gain 2 life. You may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle, and put that card on top. And again, nothing too crazy. Yes, ensuring your next land drop is good. And I think a 2 mana, 1/2 flyer is totally fine. So this might break into the it's playable category of a 4, but I just feel like I've seen better. So I'm gonna say 3 as well for this one. Troop of Ponies, for all of you horse players out there. 2 mana creature, horse, 2/1. You can pay 2 tap, sack it, rip the Troop of Ponies. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put one onto the battlefield tapped, the other into your hand, then shuffle. This I think is actually totally fine. 2 mana, 2/1, and then you can pay 2 tap, sack it, go get 2 basics, ramp, and put another basic in your hand. I think this is pretty good. I know it's at uncommon, but this is definitely, I think, going to be a pretty good card. It might even hit into the 5 category, but we'll let it land at a 4 as I start to get my bearings a little bit better. Darling, if you do get a chance, any sort of drink, yeah, would be. Maybe even like a...
Start with that.
Is this water? Okay. I might do a zip fizz though, because I'm going to be here for a while. All right, Belladonna took 1 and a white, legendary creature, halfling citizen. So 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever a token you control enters, you gain 1 life. If this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time, draw a card. If it's the third time, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Now, in limited, I have a feeling this is going to often be a 2 mana, 2/2 that occasionally gains you some life. Because I'm not sure how often you're going to pull off the second and third time. If you do, it's obviously stupid powerful, but we will see exactly how often. we are able to pull that off, because right now I'm pretty confident it's going to be tough to. Say whenever one or more tokens. So I guess if you make like 2 or 3 1/1s, it would trigger all 3 of them. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's a solid 2-drop, 2-mana 2/2 with a lot of upside. I assume there's gonna be some crazy tokens, but we will see. Bilbo's Gambit. 1 and a white instant. You may gift a treasure. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If you do, they create a treasure token before its other effects. It's an artifact with tap, sack this token, add 1 mana of any color. Return target spell to its owner's hand. If the gift was promised, players can't cast spells this turn. Yeah, no, that seems really bad. Ramping your opponent just to return a spell to its owner's hand in limited. This seems really bad. I mean, it's because it's not a counter spell, right? Like, and I know you don't have to, so you can just 2 mana return a spell. I know, this seems bad to me. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10. I don't think this is really playable. I don't think it's very playable. All right. Bow 4, Reliable Guardian. 1 white, 1/1, legendary creature, dwarf scout with lifelink. 1/1 with lifelink, very interesting. 1 and a white, target artifact or creature you control gains hexproof and indestructible. I like that there's a 2 mana hexproof and indestructible. That's a pretty good trick. I don't mind that. And of course, after you cast it for its concerted care, then you can always play it as a 1/1 lifelinking dwarf scout. Totally fine with this card. I think this probably plays really well. I mean, you kind of get a 2-for-1 here, right? In the fact that you can save something, hopefully from a removal spell, and get a body out of it. Not bad. Easy 4 out of 10. Might be breaking into the 5 out of 10 category. I think this card's probably going to be pretty good. Celebrate the Mountain King. 3 and a white, so 4 mana enchantment. When it enters, for each opponent... That's written for commander right there. But in limited, it'll be for 1 opponent. Exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Oh, okay. So I'm starting to see... Okay. I'm starting to see... I read ahead a little bit here. There's a new mechanic called Recruit that makes 1/1 tokens. That's going to make it a little bit more likely that you could trigger Little Miss Belladonna Took. So this might actually be a 6 out of 10, maybe even a 7 out of 10 if we see a lot of Recruit happening. When this enchantment enters, Recruit, which says draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So 4 mana, Banishing Light, that connives you for a 1/1. Probably pretty good. Web Up, Banishing Light, those things tend to be pretty good removal in some of the bomby formats. Yeah. No, this seems pretty good. I might even go as far as to give it like a 6 out of 10. Easy 5 out of 10. I think this is going to be premium removal in the set. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. But there's a chance it's more. Dane, Lord of the Iron Hills. 1 and a white, 2/2. So 2 mana, 2/2 with Vigilance. Storied. If you control 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, or sagas, you have an enduring story for the rest of the game. What? If you control 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, and or sagas, you have an enduring story for the rest of the game. As long as you have an enduring story, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. Okay, so it's a... Huh? Yeah, it's a ghostly prison type effect on a 2 mana 2/2 Vigilance. Now, it's going to be relatively hard to pull off Storied, you would think, but I assume this set is following the rule of thumb they kind of set with Marvel, which is where every single creature, uncommon and above, was legendary. They were all named legendary creatures. And of course, commons were not legendary, thank goodness. That was one of the biggest problems with Spider-Man, was the fundamental cards of the deck that you're supposed to have 2 of, or 3 of, or 4 of, or sometimes even more than 4 of, depending on the build, were legendary, and it's like, well, what am I doing? Storied seems like it could be more likely to pull off in some of these Universes Beyond sets, so we will see. Card seems great, though, right? 2 mana, 2/2 Vigilance with upside. 5 out of 10. Dwarven Provisioner. 1 and a white, 2/2. You can pay 3 and a white. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This is a base 2 mana, 2/2 with potential mana sink upside. This is nothing crazy. I will give this a 3 out of 10. Maybe even a 2 out of 10. Pretty bad. This is basically a vanilla 2/2. And in today's day and age, that's just not good enough. 3 and a white, Dwarven Short Sword, artifact equipment. When it enters, you create a 2/2 red dwarf creature token, then attach this equipment to it. So there's a 4 mana, 3/4 that also makes the sword. But of course, you have to remember, like, that's a creature token. That would count for like token synergies and things like that. That being said, this still feels weak. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. I don't want to be paying 4 mana to make a 3/4, even if it's a token. Eagle of the Great Shelf. 5 mana, so 4 and a white, flying 2/5. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other creature you control. That's great, in my opinion. I mean, 5 mana beefer. 5 mana big boy. The goblins hated the eagles and feared them, but could not reach their lofty seats or drive them from the mountains. I'm so excited, guys. This is the Universes Beyond that I can actually get behind. Yeah, no, this card seems good. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I don't think it's like broken, but this thing could absolutely beat in the late game. So when you think of like quadrant theory, this thing is good in pretty much all of the quadrants. Like, I'm okay playing a 5 mana 2/5 flyer even if I'm down. I'm definitely happy with it if we're like stable, and I'm very happy with it if I'm winning. So yeah, good card. 4 out of 10. The Eagles are coming. 1 and a white, instant. Kicker 2 and 2 white. Choose target creature you own. If this spell was kicked, instead choose any number of target creatures you own. Return each chosen creature to your hand. At the beginning of the next upkeep, create a 4/4 white bird soldier creature token with flying for each creature returned to your hand this way. This is a 2 mana or 6 mana protection spell that replaces all of your creatures with 4/4 white bird soldier creature tokens with flying. But what's interesting here is it specifically says at the beginning of the next upkeep. So you can't use this, and then they have, like, you can't use this in step. Then pass the turn, they all lose summoning sickness and be able to attack. So you can't use this as a trick to like catch them off guard. They'll get like 1 turn to prepare for a fuck ton of 4/4 flyers. But this seems pretty good, right? 6 mana, just turn your board into 4/4 flyers and get all of your cards back in hand. Not bad. 2 mana do it for one of them is also fine for protection. I mean, this isn't like broken in my opinion, but I do think like pulling off the kicker requires a board. That's like the downside to this, is that 2 mana protect one thing is what it is. 6 mana turn your whole board into 4/4 flyers is good, but it requires like a relatively wide board. So because of that, I think it's probably going to land in like the high 6, maybe low 7 out of 10 range. But I still think it's a good card. Probably high 6. Esgaroth Garrison. 4 and a white. Human soldier whose power is equal to the number of creatures you control. When it enters, you recruit. Draw a card, discard, make a 1/1 if it's a non-land. Not bad. I mean, you don't really want you want a 5 mana 5/5 or better. You are getting a 5 mana something 5 and a 1/1 off of this, not to mention, or maybe a 1/1 off of this, not to mention some card cycling, which is not worth nothing. So I think this is probably like a totally fine playable card, but I don't think it's anything crazy in that 3 to 4 out of 10 range. I think it's strong enough it might break into 4, but also at its mana cost, it might not be. It's probably more of a 3. Philly the Pathfinder, 3 and a white, 4 mana dwarf scout 2/2 with storied. As long as you have an enduring story, creatures you control get +1/+1. Not bad to just buff the squad. Whenever Philly or another non-token dwarf you control enters, you create a 2/2 red dwarf creature token. That's pretty cool. So this is actually 4 mana for 2 2/2s. And then if you can pull off Storied, see 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, and or sagas. Interesting. Then if you pull off the Enduring Story, now they're just all being buffed. Seems pretty good. Also, Dwarf Tribal for the win. Sounds great. Yeah, this card's solid, right? 4 mana, 2 2/2s at worst is the floor. And 4 mana, a bunch of dwarves all buffed is the ceiling. This is a very solid card. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Very strong. It's not like, I played it, I win the game, but I think it's very, very strong. Gleaming Splendor. 1 and a white enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you create a treasure token. You can pay 2 and a white, 2 target players each draw a card. Yikes, man. This thing's going to be, yeah, I was going to say, look at the prices over here. I was going to say, this thing is going to be worth some money. This card's going to be worth some money. Because this is just like, what if Rhystic Study and Smothering Tithe had a baby? That's gross. Yeah, no, I mean, this is obviously very solid. The thing is, it's like, how often are opponents drawing their second card in limited? So you're probably paying 3 mana to make a treasure. Because you're drawing a card, they're drawing a card, and then you're getting a treasure off of it. I don't actually think this is that playable in limited. I guess with all of the, we'll have to see how common, like, the recruiting is. If their recruiting is very common and there are a lot of ways to draw your second card, this could be pretty good because your opponents are going to potentially trigger it like 2 or 3 times in a match, and it was totally worth it if they did. But I don't think this is like broken in limited. So I'm going to say like probably like a 4 out of 10. I think this is probably pretty weak, all things considered. That being said, it's a great card to open because it's going to have a ton of value. It's crazy in Commander. What?
It's just so silly to see you drink that one cup.
Oh.
I like it.
Iron Hills Blacksmith. 2 mana 1/1. Get it out of here. No, 2 mana 1/1 double strike. Whenever it enters, create a colorless equipment artifact token. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to make tokens here. The Took. The Belladonna Took, getting a lot better here. That one's definitely in like 7 out of 10 range. Maybe even higher. I don't know. Iron Hills Blacksmith. 2 mana 1/1. When it enters, you create an artifact token named Axe. Oh, it's just named Axe. That's great. With equipped creature, gets +1/+0 and equip 2. Sure. 1/1 double strike that gets Axe. I mean, yes, if you then pay the mana to equip it, but I don't know if that's great. I mean, sure, for like board presence and in the right deck, like in a token deck or in like, yeah, okay, obviously I could see this having some really good value, but I just think on its own, 2 mana 1/1 double striker is like just fine. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I mean, it's an okay 2-drop, but it's not like a good one. Killy the Resourceful. 1 and a white dwarf scout, 1/2 with Storied. As long as you have an enduring story, you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. That's pretty good. Free equip each turn. Whenever another dwarf for equipment you control enters, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. That's obviously very good in like dwarf tribal, right? Just saying 2 mana 1/2, I draw when my dwarfs or equipments enter is very good. And to just have the little upside of like, well, hey, once I have Storied, which with the equipments and stuff like that, I can see the artifacts part of this also helping out. You get there pretty quickly. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Easy 6. I don't know. It's probably 7 out of 10. I like drawing cards. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I haven't seen like anything that wows me enough to be in the 8, 9, or 10 category yet, but maybe I will, or maybe I'm being too picky. I don't know. 1 mana, 1/1. When it dies, you recruit. Seems totally fine as a 1-drop. 3 out of 10. Lake Town Toy Maker. I guess it replaces itself. This might actually be a 4. Lake Town Toy Maker, 3 and a white, human artificer. Artificer. I don't know how you guys say it. How do you guys say it? 4 mana, 3/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, another target creature you control gains +3/+0 and gains first strike. Obviously, that's really good. And it works well with the recruit. So recruit might be the way that you trigger this often. But I am hesitant to take cards that are just below pay grade, 4 mana, 3/4, unless you do a thing. So for me, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. Magnificent End. 5 mana, costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. Oh, but it only deals damage. It deals 5 damage to target creature. That's actually kind of bad. I mean, it is instant speed, so you can catch them off guard a little bit with them having to tap the creature. But 2 mana deals 5 damage is not really what I want to see. I want to see destroy, right? I don't want to see damage. I want to see destroy, because I don't know how, but somehow they're going to get away from it dying to 5 damage. Yeah, that disappointed me, I won't lie. That's cool art with Smaug flying over the city. If that's the size of the scale that was missing, though, I mean, this wasn't that hard of a shot to make. Anyways, I joke, of course, but no, this isn't great. Probably like a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 out of 10. But you gotta remember, removal's good, so I would even be giving removal like a 5 or a 6 if it was solid. But I'm probably gonna say 3. I don't like that this is damage. I'm just not a big fan of that. Thing is that if this was red, I would probably be fine with it being 5 damage. So maybe I should just get my colors in check. Moment of Glory. I am Bard, Slayer of the Dragon. 1 white sorcery. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, also put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Oh, that's cool. All right, so 1 white, put a counter, flashback 5. Again, this requires a board. It takes up a slot in your hand. I mean, maybe there's a +1 counter synergy, like white green deck or something like that. That's really good. But generally speaking, this seems weak. I'm gonna give this 2 out of 10. Don't play this card. The Mountain King's Return. I am glad that they brought back the sagas. Those things are so pretty. I know that Trenton, if you ever see this, good friend of mine, lived with him in college, specifically wanted one of the sagas from the Lord of the Rings set. And it wasn't even one of the like rare or mythic ones. He specifically wanted an uncommon one just because it was the saga that was about the 2 lovers that Tolkien wrote into his books that are him and his wife, which I think is so sweet that they put that on a Magic card. Anyways, Mountain King's Return, 3 mana saga. It starts out with recruiting. Okay, not bad, but kind of weak. Then it returns target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is strong. That is very strong, especially with the recruit. This is already good. 3 mana recruit, probably get a 1/1. Ditch something that's 3 mana value or more, already have it there. Boom, bring it back. Then put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. Okay, that part's whatever. But no, this seems solid. This seems really good. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Very good uncommon enchantment. Ori, Keeper of Songs. 2 and a white, dwarf bard, storied, 3/3. As long as you have an enduring story, Ori gets +1/+0 and has vigilance. Obviously, no. No, they didn't keep it up. Did we have any of these before this? I need to check. Now. Now I'm like really curious. For those of you that don't know what I just freaked out about, that is a legendary common. And I am not happy about that. All right, rare, uncommon. Nope, you're not legendary. Okay, I understand that this set has the storied, which wants you to have legendary creatures. So like it probably helps to have legendary commons. That way you're more likely to pull off storied. But legendary commons are just a bad idea, okay? They're just a bad idea because the whole point is I want a lot of these in my deck, essentially. This is annoying. This is bad. I hate this, but it's fine. It is what it is. All right, 3 mana, 3/3. Sure, often it's going to be a 4/3 with vigilance, but it's also often going to be a 3 mana, 3/3. This is just fine. Probably 3 out of 10, maybe a 4, but nothing crazy. And I hate the fact that it is. A legendary uncommon. The Queen of Dale. 1 and a white human noble 2/1. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you recruit. Again, in limited, probably not going to happen a ton, but it is going to happen some. And this is totally fine 2-drop that has a good bit of upside. So, you know, typically when you see these, whenever an opponent, it's designed for commander. And then if you see whenever an opponent and it's a rare or a mythic, now you're like, oh, okay, this is not only designed for commander, it's designed to have value. Which of course is what this is. But I think in limited, this is fine. I don't think it's broken though. I think it's like a pretty good, you know, 2-drop. So probably like a 5 out of 10 range. Just because I don't necessarily, I mean, they're going to have to remove it. And if they use, obviously they're likely to remove it with a non-creature spell. So it kind of replaces itself in that sense, but it's already a little weaker, right? Like 2 mana, 2/1. So I don't think it's great. I'm going to go with 5 out of 10. Roads go ever on. Oh, all right. 1 and a white. Search for up to 2 basic planes. Exile them, then shuffle. You gain 2 life. Put a card exile with the saga into its owner's hand. So you do eventually get to put the planes into your hand. So it's like 2 mana. Go get 2 planes. Get them out of your library. Next turn, put a planes in your hand. Put another planes in your hand is the 3rd turn. And then 4th turn is whenever you attack this turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each planes you control. I mean, that doesn't actually seem that bad, right? Like, that seems decent enough. Yeah, that seems decent enough. It's just a good 2 mana ramp spell, right? It's like slower. Oh, I guess it doesn't actually ramp you. It's just consistently hitting your land drops. Still seems very good. Still seems very, very good. A lot of value on here for 2 mana. So I'm going to say like 7 out of 10. Settle the Wreckage. 2 and 2 white instant. Exile all attacking creatures target players control. That player may search their library for that many basic land cards. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Oh boy. Wipe their whole board, but let them get that many lands. This is a swingy card, man. This is a very, very swingy card. Oh, man. And they have to, like, full swing. If they leave anything back, it's... Oh. Yeah, I don't think this is really playable. This is probably like a 3 out of 10, but it's like a 3 out of 10 that's occasionally going to be the only reason you won a game. You're going to have like a 5/5. They're going to have like 20, 8/8s swinging all at you. Be like, ha ha. And you're going to be like, psych, what if I exile all of those? Sure, you can go get 20 lands, but you're on like, 3 health and I get you on the backswing. But if they even leave 1 back, if they play even remotely smart, like knowing that this is in the format, yeah, I think it's like a 3 out of 10. Stone by Sunlight. Oh, the ogres here look interesting. 1 and a white, instant. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Now, see, that's more what I'm talking about. 1 and a white, instant speed. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. That might be better than Murdoch's right now. Murdoch's is very, very good. I know Murdoch's is exile, but it's not at instant speed. Until end of turn, target creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other types and gains indestructible. That's not bad either. That is not bad either. This is great. This is easy 5 out of 10, probably 6 out of 10 removal. This is very good. Now, yes, power 4 or greater, so it's not going to hit everything, but 2 and 2 white instant. Choose one. Creature control get +2/+1 until end of turn, or destroy target artifact or enchantment. You gain 2 life. This is too expensive to take in a best of 1 format. You could sideboard something like this if your opponent really has like problematic artifacts or enchantments, but you're going to have to go very wide, very consistently to play a card like this, and I just don't think that's probably going to happen. So likely a 2 out of 10, maybe a 3, but definitely not good. An Unexpected Party. 4 mana. As it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control the chosen type get +2/+2, so just an any type buff. And of course, it has the sorcery. Create X/2/2 red creature tokens. Red dwarf creature tokens. That's very good. So 4 mana make 1 2/2, but from that point on, it's just positive, right? It's 5 mana. No, 5 mana make 2 2/2s is still pretty bad. 6 mana make 3 is totally fine. And if you have more than 6 mana, that's just dumb. But also, if you already have creatures out, 4 mana, choose a type, they all get. It's pretty good. Pretty solid card. Probably like a 6 out of 10. This part of it is very strong, though, so it might eke into like the 7 category. Velvet Wing Butterflies. 2 and a white insect, 2/2 flyer. So 3 mana, 2/2 flyer, but it has Gaze in Wonder. 1 and a white instant, tap 1 or 2 target creatures. 3 mana, 2/2 with another form that can be cast. I mean, you get both for the same card. Like, the power of adventure is it's basically a 2-for-1 built into the card. I just don't know if, like, this one's great. It's probably like a 4 out of 10 card. Vow to Erebor. 1 and a white instant. Untap target creature you control. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a dwarf, you may attach an equipment you control to it. So 2 mana combat trick. Untap, +2/+2. If it's a dwarf equip. Totally fine, but nothing crazy. Probably like a 3 out of 10. And that's the white cards. We're making progress, people. We are making progress. You don't have to, darling. I'll get them if you don't want to. Bilbo Luck Wearer. 1 and a blue, halfling rogue, 1/1. Can't be blocked. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. Still not bad, right? So there's a consistent way to get your second card draw for whatever it was we were talking about with that earlier. 5 mana Burglar's Plot. Exchange control of 2 target non-land permanents that share a card type. That's pretty cool. It's like, what if I just exchanged my 1/1 for your like best thing? I like that Burglar's Plot. That's fun. That's fun. This card gets a high rating for me just because it's fun. Yeah. This is an unlikely card that you're going to pay this and then play him out, unless you, I mean, you probably will, but he's unlikely to alter the game a whole lot. But you probably just play him out as a 2 mana 1/1 unblockable that helps you loot. Yeah, this is good. Probably like a 5 out of 10. Solid card. Good uncommon. Bilbo, Thief in the Night. 2 mana 2/2. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less to cast. Whenever he attacks, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from your graveyard. If an instant or sorcery spell cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. I mean, it's not dumb because you're not going to have a ton of instant or sorcery spells, but also it's pretty cool. He has to attack, and he doesn't have like... Yeah, this reduces commander cost, right? Like, that's what this is. This is 2 mana, reduce my commander cost by 1. Kind of what this feels like. Yeah, that's kind of what this feels like. I don't know how playable this is in limited. Like, it's okay. It's probably like a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. But it's not broken. Bilbo Baggins, Burglar. We have Bilbo, Thief of the Night, Bilbo, Luckwearer, and Bilbo Baggins, Burglar. 3 mana 2/1. When it enters, draw a card. That's not bad. 3 mana 2/1 enters, draw a card with a Scrying Adventure. Very solid. Oh no. I'm so sorry, darling. Do you want the Hershey's that's out there? I'm really sorry, baby. I don't think I have a Kit Kat from... I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
you aware.
Okay.
So that I didn't suffer alone.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think this card is good. I think this is a strong common. Problem is, it's a common that's legendary. Y'all, I don't want to deal with it. I don't like it. Get it out of here. Gross. Gross. But it's probably a good card. This is probably like a 5 out of 10 common. 3 mana, 2/1, draw a card, and it has the Scry Adventure. Seems pretty good. Confusticate and be bother. 3 mana, counter target spell unless controlled pays 4, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. I mean, the draw 2 cards, then discard a card gives you like a reason to hold this up. And then if there's not a good thing to counter, you can choose to do the draw 2, discard a card version of it. So that part's at least nice, but it is an expensive counter spell. So I'm going to say like 4 out of 10, maybe even 3. Elrond, Moon Reader, 2 and a white, 2 and a blue, so 3 mana, 3/3. Whenever you activate an ability of a creature, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, just whenever you activate an ability of a creature. Sure. Haven't exactly seen a ton of activated abilities yet, so not sure if that's coming up, but right now I'm reading 3 mana, 3/3. Now he has an activated ability, 7 mana, exile up to 2 other target non-land permanents you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of, oh, this is just a 7 mana blink 2. Yeah. I mean, you'll draw a card off of it. And of course you get to draw a card off of the other activated abilities, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. Again, it's not like a win the game level bomb, I don't think. I think it's maybe like a 5 out of 10. You know, maybe if I see a lot more activated abilities, but 3 mana elf pilot, Elven Raft Steerer. Whenever a land, oh, see, and this is an uncommon that isn't legendary. So they decided against the whole Marvel thing. 2 and a blue, elf pilot, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, choose one. Tap target creature an opponent controls or untap target creature you control. The tapping target creature an opponent controls is like okay, but it's only offensive. And it's kind of like a weak body. This feels like a 3 out of 10. Probably not playing it a whole lot. All right, here's an activated ability. I know we saw one earlier with like the buffing the squad, right? 2 mana, 2/2 with 5 mana, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Notably, 5 mana, target creature can't be blocked this turn, actually like a win con. That is actually a legitimate win con. Like in a stall, this could be an actual issue. So I'll bump it up from 3 to 4 out of 10. Enchanted River's Grasp. 2 and a blue, aura. When it enters, tap enchanted creature and remove all counters from it. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Yeah, it just seems like a very solid Frozen in the Ice, right? Yeah. Just seems like a better version of Frozen in the Ice, which is a card from Marvel right now that is totally fine removal. So this is better. So maybe this is like a 5 out of 10. Frozen in Ice kind of like one of the worst, one of the not as good removal spells right now. In a world of like instant speed or even sorcery speed, but still exile effects, I think Marvel removal is pretty good. Fateful Discovery. Wow. 3 mana and 2 blue enchantment. Whenever an artifact you control enters, draw a card. Now, hear me out. There's a lot of decks in Limited that this is not going to work in at all. This is a 1 out of 10 don't play unless it is very, very specifically to your build. But this is probably just a 0 out of 10 can't play it. Which is interesting because there's got to be a draw card make an artifact, right? For constructed, there has to be drawing a card making an artifact, right? Like whenever you draw a card, you know, make a treasure or something like that. There's got to be an infinite loop with this, right? Well, of course it's going to have value. So there you go. Fateful Discovery. But yeah, 0 out of 10. Not playable. Gandalf the Wandering Wizard. And here we are. Common. 5 mana, 4/5 with Ward 3. That's not bad. 6 mana, Gandalf's owner shuffles him into their library and draws 3 cards. So an okay body that's hard to get rid of, and then you can 6 mana shuffling him to draw 3. That's really not the end of the world. I don't think it's a good card in limited, but I don't think it's bad. So I'll give it like a 4 out of 10. This is a fine playable. Great Gilded Boat. 2 and a blue whenever you attack recruit. That's already probably playable. And then it's a 4/4 with crew 2. Yeah, I don't mind this. 3 mana whenever you attack recruit. I mean, it's slow to begin with, but it's on a 4/4. This is solid. 7 out of 10. Good card. Lakeshore Apothecary. 1 and a blue, creature, human cleric, 1/2, vigilance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I think this card, with what we've seen so far, actually has a lot of potential. If you have a single account of drawing your second card, this is already good. 2 mana, 2/3 vigilance. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10 in this particular set. This feels pretty good. Lake Town Mariners, 6 mana, human citizen, vigilance, ward 2, 6/5. So 6 mana, vigilance, ward 2, 6/5, totally fine. And you can go fishing, 4 mana, instant adventure. Exile 2 target creatures and/or lands you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. Okay, so I need to be like keeping a mind out for like enters effects. Because we have not seen like much. I don't think we've seen a ton of ETBs. We've seen like enter and draw a card, the card that's going to be good, but that's a Bilbo. I'd like to point out, you can't. It's legendary. This is fine though, right? 6 mana, vigilance, ward 2, 6/5 that also has like a blink instant attached to it. Pretty good. 4 out of 10. Long Lake Nuisance. 3 and a blue flying. Whenever it enters, you recruit. Okay, so there's an enters trigger. 4 mana, 3/1 flyer, but it recruits. I think that's pretty bad, though. I'm going to give that like a 3 out of 10. That's a lot of mana for a 3/1 flyer and a recruit. Although the 3 is powerful. But yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot that's going to like hurt the one side of it so far, but I don't know. 1/1 birds like to kill that. So yeah, I'm gonna give this like a 3 out of 10. Yeah, we'll go 3 out of 10. The Lord of the Eagles. 7 and 2 blue flash. It costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control with flying. And it's a flying 8/8. I mean, a flying 8/8 is good. If you're in a flyers-centric, like white-blue flyers-ish deck, then yes, this gets better. And obviously, like something like this gets better as well. Yeah, I mean, you want a flash flyer like this. Flash flying 8/8 probably at rare is like worth 6 mana. And it's really good. This obviously is 9 mana until you discount it. If it's being discounted, yeah, it's really solid, but it's not always going to get discounted. I want to see the alternate art. Oh, that's pretty cool. So like, it's probably a 6 out of 10. It's a good card, but there's a lot of times that you just aren't going to be able to cast it or something goes wrong.
Oh crap, Tyler.
Doing what? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Tyler. Hello. I will get an iPad. Ashley's gonna get me pulled up. I appreciate you, buddy, pal, chief.
She'll be here. I don't know.
If you are still here, send another thing in the chat, and we'll see. I will continue on in a moment, but you just want to get my iPad out there?
Sure, if I charge.
Enough. It at least we won't have to wait for it to charge back up. Okay. Ow. We will continue in a moment, folks, but there might be someone in the chat, good friend of ours, and we are not going to ignore him. Also, it's a good idea to just see. That's just it. I'm so used to recording these that my brain did not think about chat. But that's how live streams work. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Huh? No. Yes. I'm so sorry. I thought it was out there. It's probably dead now that I'm realizing it because I think it's been like 2 days since I opened it. But all right, what's that? Okay, that's fine. We can plug it in. 11 is enough to boot up, to exist. Two mana, 1/3. Vigilance gets +2/+0 for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target player mills 3. That just seems very valuable. 2 mana, 1/3 Vigilant, already fine. Might be a 3/3 with Vigilance. Could be a 5/3 with Vigilance. Yeah, no, he might be having dinner or something, but we appreciate all of your comments here. Settle the Wreckage is coming back to standard. So Settle the Wreckage apparently has been in standard before. Good to know. Oh, that's a good point. 2 mana Bilbo does reduce all of the adventures. Thank you, Tyler, for being for providing some thoughts there. But yeah, no, this card seems good. This card seems solid, right? 2 mana, 1/3 Vigilance, gonna eventually potentially be a 3/3 with Vigilance or a 5/3 with Vigilance, and it lets you mill your opponent. Not bad. Seems very good. I might even give this like a 6 out of 10 for a 2-drop. It seems pretty strong, but at least 5 out of 10. Mirkwood Meditator. 2 and a blue, 2/4, landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may have this creature's pet. No, these cards are typically really bad. You see this as a 3 mana 2/4, and 3 mana 2/4 is like a 2 out of 10 these days. So bad. Don't play. Do not play. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Most decrepit old bird. 1 blue, 1/1 flying threshold. This creature gets +1/+1 as long as there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. Okay, so 1 mana 2/2. As long as there are 7 more cards in your graveyard. 2 mana adventure sorcery. Mill 4 cards, then put an instant or sorcery card from among the mill cards into your hand. That part's fine. And then you might be able to play it out as the 2/2 flyer. So this is mainly Speak Secrets, right? Like that's mainly what this card is Speak Secrets. Mill 4 cards, then put an instant or story. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Especially if there's like good value to mill decks, like, you know, if you have this and you have some of the masters, counselors in there and things like that. So seems solid. I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's like crazy. Although I guess I have to give credit to adventurers. Like, they're just powerful because it's 2 cards. But I think this is very playable. I think this is fine. Old Fat Spider Can't See Me. 2 and a blue, uncommon. Target creature you control gains hexproof for as long as this saga remains on the battlefield. But it does not have flash, so you're just playing this out to protect something. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by up to 1 target creature for as long as the saga remains on the battlefield, and then draw 2. I mean, it's a delayed draw 2, but this seems pretty good. Just play it out like, all right, you don't touch this thing. This thing doesn't touch me. Now I'm going to draw 2. Sure. I mean, obviously by the second draw, the thing gets sacrificed and it's gone, but yeah, seems good. I didn't give it a rating. I need to give it a rating. Yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. Solid. I mean, it's delayed, but it's solid. Is it? Maybe a 4 out of 10. Plunder the Troll Shaws. 1 in a blue, instant, draw a card. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, draw 2 cards instead. Okay, so this is just like, what was that card that's in like Foundations? Darling, you might know it then. It's in Foundations. It's like 1 in a blue, draw a card, and then you can flash back from your graveyard. Is it Think Twice? Yeah, Think Twice. This is basically like Think Twice, but the flashback is twice as much, but you draw 2 cards instead. Think Twice was good. Think Twice was pretty good. So, I mean, not bad, right? Replaces itself, puts it in the graveyard later after you've gotten your graveyard's energies. You can use it to draw more cards if you're in a pinch. Totally fine. I have 4 out of 10. I don't think it's anything crazy, though. Raven Hill Flock. 3 and a blue bird. 1/2 flying. Whenever you draw a card, put up. Okay. I think these cards are sus. I think these cards beg to be removed for cheap. However, I think that there are enough card draw synergies with like enters triggers and the recruiting and that this might actually be playable. This might be like a 5 out of 10 card. I think that if this becomes a 3/4, it was pretty decent. Like you just have to work so hard to get there though. I don't know. I don't love it. I definitely don't love it. But it doesn't say, if it said whenever you draw your second card or something, it'd be horrible. But because it will buff up on your turn, I think it's okay. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, but you got to be careful with cards like this. You got to be very careful with cards like this. Riddles in the Dark. 2 and a blue, instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Oh, thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
This looks so good.
You haven't had those ones yet.
I have not. Give me spicy food while I'm talking.
Yo, they're chicken strips.
Yeah, I know. I just
Like,
hopefully
the
they aren't
line
like
is meat.
hopefully they aren't like super hot.
Baby, I'm sure they're made by a white people company.
Okay, totally fair.
Be so real.
All right, sorry about that, guys. We are back. All right, Riddles in the Dark. Top 4 cards of your library. Separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. An opponent chooses one of the piles. Put that pile into your hand, the other into your graveyard. Not bad. Not too shabby. Isn't great, but not too bad. I mean, it's a good draw spell at the very least, so I'll give it like a 6 out of 10 just for that. And if I'm missing something, then I'm missing something, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Roll, 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 roll. 2 and a blue. Exile up to 1 target creature or land you control. If you do, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Because it's just blink. It's just blink, 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 blink. I mean, it's fine. It lets you reset your sagas. It also lets you choose a land for landfall. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not like crazy, but I think it's okay. For a rare, it requires a very specific deck. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 and say, yeesh, be careful with it. Oh, you can't choose your sagas with it. Creature or land. Boo. Yeah. Hello, guard dog. Nice. Mono white blink super friends deck. How many super friends are there in mono white? Because that's planeswalkers, right? I mean, I know there's a lot of planeswalkers. I assume it's like repeat though. Like a lot of a Johnny's in there. Valid. Valid. But yeah, no, roll. Not a good limited card. 2 or 3 out of 10. Maybe there's a deck that wants it, but not typically. Sound the trumpets. 1 and 2 blue, instant, counter target spell. If that spell's mana value was 2 or less, recruit. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. I was gonna say white actually doesn't have a lot of planeswalkers. Okay, cool. I'm not going like crazy. I'm not going crazy. Yeah. Get out of here, Tyler. Get out of here. No, I'm joking. We appreciate you, Tyler, but any Hoosers. 1 and 2 blue, counter target spell. I mean, that is playable. You can play that. But I don't think it's great these days. The recruiting is fine, but like you have to counter something that's not super valuable. That doesn't mean it wasn't a good card, because there are good cards at 2 mana value or less, but this feels kind of bad. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. This just doesn't feel like a counter spell I want to hold up. At least the other counter spell, if you hold up the 3 mana for it, then you can use the card draw effect if there wasn't a good thing to. To counter. They're pretty spicy, but not too spicy. Sorry, what does format guard? Oh, okay. I see now. Guard dog's the person. I'm caught up. I was like, is that a card I talked about? Because I don't remember it. There are 2 people in chat. Tyler and Guard Dog. You can lay there, darling. We need to figure out if there's a way to make the like the chat auto scroll though.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Anyways, yes, a bad card there. Thranduil's Decree. 4 and 2 blue, counter target spell. If a permanent spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. That's pretty cool. I kind of like 6 mana counter your thing, and I get to steal it. That being said, not always going to be applicable. The commander chat going on down here. But yeah, not always going to be applicable. So not like a great use of your 6 mana. Like you typically want to spend 6 mana doing something your deck wants, not getting something your opponent deck want your opponent's deck wants. However, yeah, I really need the auto scroll, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll make it work. But yeah. No, so I mean, I don't think this is great because of that. However, you are stopping your opponent from doing something and getting to steal it. So like there's value. It's just not like great. This is probably like a 4 out of 10. Playable, but nothing crazy.
Twitch chat in your Twitch stream manager auto scrolls by default. It only pauses when you manually scroll up to read other messages.
Oh.
How to resume auto scroll? Scroll to the bottom. Scroll all the way down to news messages, and the auto scroll feature will turn on immediately.
Okay. Maybe I accidentally touched it or something.
I literally watched you.
But then I scrolled back down. I scrolled all the way down.
Who knows?
Oh, cool. Did you just see that message?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Any Hoosers. Guard Dog, if you're talking about this card, which I assume you are, though in fairness, I don't know what the commander does, so it's possible that that's also theft. I also love theft. Theft is great. Theft is awesome. Just typically in limited, theft is generically not as good. because you're hoping your opponents have a bomb in a format where bombs are relatively sparse. So moving on, uncover the. Oh, I don't know if I gave. Yeah, like a 4 or a 5. It says more messages below.
I don't know, sir. Maybe just click on the more messages below and let.
I did. I'm gonna close it and reopen it and see if I can get it to just.
Yeah, you always need to not. Maybe also stop watching the stream and just let it be more messages that can populate.
That's what I did. Yeah, exactly. It's only as good as your opponent's deck, and limited is unfortunately a place where like your opponent's not guaranteed to have good things. And you typically want your 6 drop to be like something that can help turn the tides and help win you the game. Uncover the Moonlitters. 3 and a blue enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw X cards or X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. If you do, discard 2 cards. And there are some cards in this. There are some cards in this format that are definitely not great in limited. Good rares, just not in limited. Oh man. Cast a non-creature spell, you may draw X. I mean, it's a may, but you're setting this up for 4 mana. That is expensive. That is expensive. This is a 4 mana do nothing. Next turn, if you have a non-creature spell that happens to cost 3 or more, you actually get some value out of this. I mean, obviously, yes, draw 2, discard 2 is still not bad, but I think this is pretty bad. I think this costs too much to set up. Yes, there's a magical Christmas land where this just does wonders, but I think this costs too much to set up. I'm going to give it another, like, 2 out of 10. Uneasy Partings. 3 and a blue. Cost 1 less to cast if it targets an attacking non-token creature. Yeah, he's doing it again. More messages below. I'm mad. I'm mad. You could slot it into the draw for +1/+1 counters deck, but then you also have to have the instants and sorceries to back it up. Like, yeah, I mean, it definitely can work. There are cards that it'll work well with, but I think generically it requires a lot of setup and a lot of other cards to do good things with. But yes, yeah. Obviously, it is synergistic with that. That's fair. Yeah, a lot of counter spells and things like that. So, yeah, you could run it that way for sure. That's fair. All right, 1 less to cast. If it targets an attacking non-token creature, target creature's owner puts on their choice the top or bottom of their library. Typically these cards haven't been doing too bad in limited. I'm trying to make this stupid thing auto scroll. I'm so mad. It's fine. Target creature's owner puts onto the yeah. That's I was making sure it wasn't like second from the top, which is what we currently have with Trickster Stratagem. I mean, Trickster Stratagem is definitely better than this, but it's also more mana. Doing this for 3 mana is really not that bad, especially at instant speed. And it does specify non-token, so you can't get the bounce removal effect there, but I think it's fine. 4 out of 10. All right. Wizard Staff. 1 on a blue, artifact equipment. Equipped creature has prowess. If an ability of equipped creature triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. I mean, seems pretty good. Obviously, you only really want to play this and equip it onto a wizard, because otherwise it costs way too much to equip. But doubling just any triggered ability is typically pretty good. I think strong, but requires a lot of setup, so probably gets like a 4 out of 10, something like that. It's an artifact entering. That's worth something. Helps you get the storied or whatever it is. I don't even remember the name of it, but something like that. So, yeah. Yeah. I'll give it like a 4. Oh, all right, cool. On to black. Along the Crooked Way. 2 and a black enchantment. When it enters, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever a creature card leaves your graveyard, amass goblins 1. Reading the card explains the card. Pay 1 and a black. Goblins and orcs you control gain menace until end of turn. It's pretty solid. 3 mana. Return a creature card from graveyard to hand. That gets you a 1/1. Or gets you a bigger goblin army. And then you just have the potential to get that goblin army menace. It's a lot of value. It's a strong card. But is it rare? Maybe like a 6 out of 10. Seems good. Seems good. I mean, I know it returns to hand, but still seems good. I was gonna say exactly. Seems really strong for 3. So one of the better rares we've seen. Yeah, 6, maybe bordering on 7 out of 10. I think this could play really well. I just have to think about, especially in like blue, like Demir. Demir was doing a lot of milling your own stuff, so not bad. Azog, Moria's Ruin. Interesting goblin here, but sure. 2 and a black, goblin soldier. Enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. Its controller amasses Goblin's X, where X is that creature's power. If you control that creature, draw a card. Oh, that's pretty interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, if you like desperately need to remove something, it's good. If what you're removing has relatively weak power, it's not bad. You can do it on your own thing to draw a card, especially if you like had something that had like an ETB effect or something that like the value of the card wasn't the creature itself. Like that 3/1 bird. I like cards like this that you can get creative with. So, you know, I'll give it probably like a 6. I don't know. It's not like crazy good. It might even be technically supposed to be like a 5, but I like it. It's fun. Ooh, all right. Instant speed, destroy target creature for 1 and 2 black. This is going to be very, very good. Very good removal in this set. 1 and 2 black, instant, destroy target creature. Murder is good. Easy 5 out of 10. Nothing crazy, so I'm not going to go beyond 5 out of 10, but very good card. 4 limited. Crude Bent Blade. 2 and a black, artifact equipment. When this equipment enters, target opponent sacks a creature of their choice. And then it's just an equipment that attaches. I don't typically love these effects, and this is a format where we've seen a lot of the recruit ability where they're going to have like token creatures and things like that to sacrifice. So personally, I'm not huge on this card. I think for that, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Pretty unplayable. In my honest opinion. Desolation Prowler. 2 mana, 2/2. We can pay 2 life to give it +2/+2 until end of turn. I mean, that's okay. But it's still not like... It's pretty low power for an uncommon. No, you're on 2-mana threat of a 4/4 is pretty good. But I don't think it's great. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I think you can play it, but I don't think it's great. Down to Goblin Town. I'm very happy that that is a card. That makes my heart happy. 2 and a black, uncommon. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. This is already going to be a good card. This is already going to be a good card. Because that alone is probably worth like 2 mana. So, reveals their hand, choose a non-land card, discard it. Great. Amass Goblins 1, fine. Target opponent, okay, it's not like great. It's not like crazy. This is a lot of value again for 3 mana. Not to mention, sagas help you accomplish the storied. So, yeah, I think this is really good. I'll say like 5 out of 10. I don't think it's like crazy good, but 3 mana, you get to look at that. Like, even just knowing their hand has value. Make them ditch a card, get a 1/1, drain over the course of 2 turns, drain 2, gain 2. Yeah, 5 out of 10. Dreaded Bat Cloud. 5 mana, 4/2. It costs 3 less to cast if a creature died this turn. Flying Death Touch. I mean, it's not going to be that hard to make this a 2 mana 4/2 flyer. I think I like it for that reason. That touch is good, but it's starting to get big power, so it kills most of the things it fights. But I like the 4 power in the air. This thing is great if you cast it for 2, and I think that's going to be doable. Like, you would need 3 black pips, but on the same turn, you could, like, murder, or whatever. What was murder called? You could deadly slice a creature, and then get this out for 2. It's a really good turn. Yeah, I think this is strong. 5 out of 10. Front Porch Sentries. 1 and a black. When it dies, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Very generic 2-drop. This is mostly a 2 mana 2/2, but we did see a decent, not a decent number, but we did see some creatures that have like 1 toughness. Yeah, not a ton of them, but it takes out like a Bilbo. It takes out that 3/1 flyer. It kills any of the 1/1 soldier tokens. So like, it's not unplayable. Otherwise, I would just say vanilla creature these days is unplayable. I think that breaks it into the category of 4 out of 10, but I don't love it. 4 mana, return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and then amass goblins 3. This seems strong. This seems really good as well. 4 mana, get a 3/3, or make whatever creature you already have bigger. 4 mana, get a 3/3, and get something back from your graveyard to hand. This seems really good. This also seems like a 5 out of 10. Alas, Bolg of the North is coming. Gnashing of Teeth. 1 and 2 black. Choose 1. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. That's nice. Creatures target player controls get -1/-1 until end of turn. So there is a 1 toughness board wipe here. 3 mana, 1 toughness board wipe. And 1-sided for what it's worth. But mainly going to be 3 mana, sorcery speed, -5/-5. I think 3 mana destroy is better at instant speed. But I still think this is pretty premium removal. Just because it can get around like some indestructible. But most of the sources of indestructible we've seen so far, at least one of them gave hexproof. Probably between a 4 and a 5 out of 10. Maybe like a 4.5. Golem Riddle Master. 2 mana, 3/1. This is an example of something that could die with the 1 toughness. Whenever an opponent casts a spell... As Golem enters, choose odd or even. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value of the chosen quality, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put a +1 on him. Each opponent loses 2 life. Draw a card. Lot of value that you can get over time. Yeah, I mean, the first time it happens, this replaces itself. That's probably what you're going for first. I don't think it's, like, stupid, but... At 2, it's probably a strong, like, 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it a 6. Golem Silent Slinker. 3 and a black, 4/3 menace, fine. With 1 black sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Target player gains 2 life. Totally fine. 4 out of 10. Playable. Golem the Abandoned. 1 and a black, 2/2. Golem can't block. Enters exile up to 1 target card from an opponent's graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. You can pay 2, sack an artifact or a creature. Return this card from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, it's okay graveyard hate, but like not really anything that not really something you're gonna need a ton of in limited. Don't love this ability either because you have to sack an artifact or a creature. So 2 mana 2/2 that can't block with a little bit of upside. I don't think very playable. I'm gonna say 3 out of 10. Great Fierce Bee. 2 and a black, flying. 2/2. Whenever 1 or more other creatures die, scry 1. Other creatures die, scry 1. So 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Other creatures die, scry 1. I don't think that's great. I really don't. It's just crazy because there was a time 3 mana 2/2 flyer would have already been like, great card, but I think it's all right. I mean, it doesn't require your creatures dying, so that probably bumps it into the 4 category. Great Ugly Looking Goblin. 5 and a black. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has menace. Not bad. And Amass Goblins 2 is its sorcery speed adventure. This is great. This is just a 2-drop 2/2 or a late game bomb. This is one of the reasons why I really like Power Up in Marvel is because it can be a solid 2-drop, or if you draw it in the late game, bam, you're just slamming it down as like a 6 mana thing. You can do the same thing here. 2 mana, late game, slam it down for 6. If you have 8, 2 mana, then slam it down for 6. Not bad. Not bad at all. That being said, this part's a little pricey, but obviously it has this attached to it, so. It's probably like a high 4, but I'm going to go to 5 out of 10. I'm feeling generous. Generous. Head of the Hunt. 2 and 2 black. Flash. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do, create a 2/2. Okay. So you want to flash this in when a creature an opponent controls would die. And then you'll be up. You'll have 6 power, 5 toughness. I mean, that's good, right? This also can flash in, eat something, and then make a 2/2 off of that as well. If you don't want to do it like when something dies, you can catch them off guard. Not bad. I think it's solid. Probably like a 6 out of 10, right? Okay body, because you're able to flash it in. Like 4 mana flash 4/3 is probably good. And then the fact that it can just make you some 2/2s if you time it right or if it sticks around, not bad. I don't hate it. I'll give it, like I said, maybe a 6 out of 10. Inside information. X and 2 black. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play those cards this turn. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. There is your theft card, my friend. My guard dog friend. So what is this? Is what, like 6 mana, top 4. You can pay life to cast them, but the big things are going to cost a lot of life. Like, oh, this card is good, but man, does it. Oh boy. And again, the things that you're casting also aren't going to be synergistic necessarily with your deck. I think it's a good card. I think it's just going to be rough to pay the life. It's a very risky big swing. I think for that, I'm going to put it at like the 7-ish range, maybe 7 out of 10. I think it's a good card. I think you can play it, but it's just not going to be like broken. It does say you may play those cards this turn, so you can get a land off of it and play the land. Yeah. Could hurt you a whole lot, but I don't think you get the option here too, right? Yeah. Pay life. Yeah, it doesn't say you may. It just says pay life. So you don't, like, it. If you're down low life, this is dangerous as well. Yeah, this is going to be rough. This is going to be a rough one. I think that actually bumps it down for me. This might be like a 5 out of 10 or something, just because there's so many situations where it's going to be brutal to cast. But it's still good. It's still not bad. The Master of Lake Town. 1 and 2 black, 3/2 human advisor, death touch. Whenever a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. When the Master of Lake Town dies, draw a card for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. Bless you. I mean, 3 mana, 3/2 death touch was already fine. Them making them mill when they take damage, totally fine as well. And then when it dies, probably getting some return. I think this is a solid card. Easy 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10. I like things that replace themselves and mill my opponents, assuming that they're not playing graveyard decks. If I mill my opponent and they're playing a graveyard deck, okay. Well, it is what it is. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Night Howl Pursuer. 1 black, 1/1 wolf menace ferocious. Whenever this creature attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. All right, 1 mana, 1/1 menace that later in the game is a 1 mana 3/3 menace, but if when it attacks, I think it's okay. It's a decent enough 1-drop, right? For an aggressive deck. 4 out of 10. Rage into the Valley. 2 and a black. You draw a card, you lose 1 life, and you amass goblins 2. 3 mana, 2/2. I mean, obviously, yes, amass goblins could be onto a goblin token you already have. Because it says right here, if you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black goblin army creature token. I kind of want to see the goblin army token. Aww. Cool. 3 mana, 2/2, replace itself. I think that's good. Take 1 damage, replace itself. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think it's like dumb, but I think it's good. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. And it's effectively like Hero in Training is a really good card in Marvel right now. It's a 3 mana 2/2 that draws you a card. And you might gain life off of it. So this is like that, but what if I lose a life? Yeah, it's a little worse, but not like enough to make it a bad card. Yeah, 4 out of 10. Ravening Warg. 1 and a black, death touch, 2/2. Yeah, sure. You play a 2 mana 2/2 death touch. Whenever this creature attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you gain 2 life. Not bad, but death touchers typically are better at death touchers typically aren't better at attacking. They're typically better at hanging back and preventing your opponent from attack. They're very defensive cards. I mean, yes, you can do like first strike, menace, death touch, and then it's a very offensive card. But to be fair, first strike, death touch also very good on defense. Throwing something like vigilance on something like this gets really good. But I mean, yeah, you play a 2-mana 2/2 death touch. I think that's 4 out of 10. This ferocious does not bump that up, in my opinion. So 4 out of 10. Reverent Howl. 2 and a black. Choose one. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. I don't mind a draw spell that is also a combat trick. I don't mind that. Actually, I really don't. So you can just hold it up. You're planning a draw, but if something happens, boom, combat trick. I don't think it makes it like stupid powerful. Visions of Villainy without the Visions of Villainy part, but it also has a combat trick attached to it. Yeah, it's okay. 4 out of 10. Told you you'd hear it a lot. Ravanian Rampager. 2 and a black, wolf, 3/2. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sack another creature. If you do, put a number of +1/+1 counters on this creature equal to the sacrifice creature's power. Whenever this creature dies, amass Goblin X, where X is this creature's power. I mean, this doesn't have trample, right? So this doesn't necessarily, like, it's not necessarily a good idea to take this and kill your other creatures just to make this a bigger creature. Yes, when it dies, you'll get a replacement bigger creature and you might basically get to 2 for 1 your opponent. But if you start sacking your own stuff, you kind of already are 2 for 1ing yourself. So I don't know. I mean, it's a good card just in the fact that it's a 3-mana 3/2 that when it dies, you would get a 3/3, right? Like, that's already very good. But I think that's basically, like, kind of the ceiling for the card. So I'm going to call it a 6 out of 10 and call it a day. The Sackville Bagginses. 1 and a black, legendary creature, human halfling, 2/2. When the Sackville Bagginses enter, you may sack another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card and create a treasure token. Whenever you sack a token, target opponent loses 1 life. I mean, this feels very constructed-y in the sacrifice token pinginess of it, but generally speaking, sack a 1/1 or another artifact that you have, draw a card, create a treasure token. Seems pretty good, right? Like 2 mana, 2/2 that has the potential to draw you and ramp you if you have something to sacrifice, which you probably aren't going to have on turn 2, right? But it's a strong card. It's probably like a high 5, low 6. But I think it's a strong card. Stir Up Trouble. 1 black sorcery. As an additional cost, cast a spell, sack an artifact or creature, or pay 4, destroy target creature. I'd like to see this be an exile effect. So I'm going to give it like a playable 4 out of 10. It's 5 mana, destroy target creature at sorcery speed, or 1 mana, sack an artifact or creature. Now, I like that it's artifact or creature, so there's some leeway there. And there are enough token creatures that I could see this being a very possible outcome. So maybe it branches into 5 just because it can be really cheap. But, yeah, removal is removal. Stony Voiced Goblins. 1 and a black, 1/1. When it enters, each opponent discards a card. Yeah, you play Ravenous Rats. You play Goblin Ravenous Rats. You play Ravenous Goblin. 2 mana, 1/1. Each opponent discards a card. You play Ravenous Rats. 4 out of 10. Maybe even 5 out of 10. This card can get really good, but I'm going to say 4 out of 10. Pretty basic. Supper for Spiders. 1 and a black instant. Put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in your opponent's graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. They are food artifacts with 2 tap, sack this artifact, you gain 3 life. They lose all other types and subtypes. I mean, it gets to, you have to be playing like a very mill heavy deck, right? You don't want this to be a 2 mana make 1 food, 2 mana make 2 foods. You would have to have them put a lot of creature cards from their into their graveyard in 1 turn, which I just don't think is something that's happening very often. So this feels pretty unplayable in limited. For my perspective, this feels pretty unplayable and limited, so I'm personally going to give it a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10, you would have to have like 4 creatures be put into their graveyard for this to get really good. Okay. We're making our way through it, people. This is a red card. Balin, Lore Master, 3 and 2 red dwarf bard with storied. Whenever Balin or another dwarf you control enters, you may discard your hand. Draw X cards, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. If you have an enduring story, Balin deals X damage to each opponent. I mean, that's not bad. You do have to discard your whole hand. You don't get a choice. You have to discard your whole hand. So, I don't know, 5 mana 4/4 with some discardy options. Seems pretty good. Doesn't seem like broken to me. Probably like a 5 to a 6 out of 10. I'll give it 6 out of 10. Feeling generous. Bombur, Gentle Dreamer, 2 and a red dwarf bard, storied 5/3. Doesn't untap during your untap step unless you have an enduring story. So you play him out as 3 mana 5/3 in hopes that you trigger enduring story, and then you just got him as a 3 mana 5/3. But if you don't, then he won't untap during your untap step. I think that gives you time to get the enduring story, and I think a 3 mana 5/3 is fine. I don't think it's like crazy. The fact that he doesn't have anything else. I mean, he's legendary. He's a dwarf for like the dwarf sub themes, but fine card. Probably a 4 out of 10. I don't think it's anything more broken than that. Maybe it's a 5 out of 10 just because like on the play this can get really aggressive, but somewhere in that 4 to 5 range. Bothersome Noisemaker, 1 and a red. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, amass goblins 1. This seems good, right? 2 mana 2/2 that just every time you cast something that's not a creature, you get another 1/1 or you get a 1/1 or you're building up the other creature that you have. That just seems generally solid. 5 out of 10. Good 2 mana 2/2. In my opinion. Burn, Tree and Fern. 3 and a red, deals 6 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Yes, you play the 4 mana to deal 6. Destroy target artifact an opponent controls, and then later it ramps you a little bit. Sure. You're playing this mainly as 4 mana deal 6, and then if you happen to have some stuff to hit on future ticks of it, great. And this just might help you out, but yeah, this is good. This is a really good card. 5 out of 10. Solid removal. Maybe even 6 out of 10. I don't know. I mean, you're not going to get this one a whole lot, but the ramp is a little nice, so somewhere in there. Dane Ironfoot, 2 and a red, dwarf warrior, 1/4. When he enters, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Axe. When you do, attach it to target creature you control. That part's a little nice. So 3 mana 1/4, but you get to attach the +1/+0. Whenever he attacks, each equipped attacking creature gains double strike. I don't know like the equipment theme here. I assume it's probably like blue-red or something like that, but equipment can be hard to pay off. It can get expensive, but I do like the fact that equipped creatures get double strike, and that requires him attacking, but he also could be the one to get double strike, which you're probably going to want to give him, and a 3 mana 2/4 double striker is very good. So that's what this enters as, right? This enters as a 3 mana 2/4 that attacks as a double striker. It's at least a 6 out of 10. Desert Wereworm. Dragon Worm. Wow. Interesting. 4 and 2 red. This creature gets +2/+0 for each mountain you control. Okay, so in strong red decks, this thing could be like a 4/5 or a 6/5 or maybe even bigger than that. Whenever you attack with creatures with total power 4 or greater for the first time each turn, untap all attacking creatures after this. Okay, that part's nice. That part's really nice. Now, to get there on his own, to be a 12/5, you'd have to have 6 mountains. But that's still really nice. This is an okay top end. I don't think it's like great though, because like this probably enters as like a 6 mana 6/5 often, right? Like that sounds right. A 6 mana 6/5. And I don't know if I love that. This part's nice. And you don't have to attack with him. It's just whenever you attack a creature with total power 12 or greater, you untap them all, you get another combat phase. It's good. It is a rare, though, and I would like to have seen something a little stronger at the rare slot. So maybe it's like a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Desolation of Smog. 2 and 2 red. Desolation of Smog deals 3 damage to each non-dragon creature. Add 4 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells. This is just a free card in a dragon's deck. Tyler, I know you're hyped about this one. Also, color fixes for you. Because a lot of those decks are like base green red, and then they splash the other colors if they're like Ur-Dragon. 3 damage to each non-dragon creature, based on what we've seen, is killing pretty much everything. This is like a 4-mana board wipe. Then you have to have a dragon spell in hand, though, which I don't know how consistently you're going to pull off in this format. We haven't exactly seen a lot that would count. So I think it's playable just for the 4-mana board wipey nature of it, but I don't think it's like great. I think it's probably in the 4 out of 10-ish range. So do with that what you will. Dory, Bearer of Friends, 2 and a red, Dwarf Warrior, 3/2, trample. Whenever he enters, create a treasure token. Now this is what I'm talking about. 3 mana, 3/2, enters treasure token. Very solid. Now at common, I don't like that this is legendary. And I will continue to preach that from the hills. I will always preach that from the hills. I do not like that the commons are legendary, or that some of the commons are legendary. But 3 mana, 3/2, trample, enters, creates a treasure. Great. Very good card, 5 out of 10. I should say very good at its rarity, 5 out of 10. Dwarven Mauler, 1 red, 2/1. Equip abilities you activate that target this creature cost 2 less to activate. Also totally fine. 1 mana, 2/1 in an equipment sort of themed deck. Totally playable. Totally fine. I think this one I'll probably give a 4 out of 10, though. It's not like anything crazy. 1 mana, 2/1 that might have some upside. Gandalf, Goblin's Bane. 2 and a red, mythic. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Gandalf gets a +1/+1 until end of turn and deals 1 damage to each opponent. And he's got Flame Shape. So 3 mana, 2/3 with some upside. Solid enough, but nothing crazy. Flame Shape, sorcery, 1 and a red. Is his adventure. Look at the top 2 cards of your library and exile them face down. For as long as they remain exiled, you may play them if you control a wizard. That's not bad at all, right? Like, there are other wizards in the set as well. So this is like 2 mana, get 2 more cards in hand. 2 mana, draw 2, almost. Play him next turn. If he can stick, this actually gets to be draw 2. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not like great, but it's not bad. And you start pinging down opponents. Good card. I'll say a 7 out of 10. Good card. Good 3-drop. Gandalf, Spark Starter. 4 and 2 red, 4/3 reach. Whenever it enters, it deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. 6 mana, 4/3 that deals 3 is not bad. It does kill a lot, and to be fair, you can get a lot of value on, like, you can probably hit 2 things. You can also only do 2 if you need to, and then go to face for 1. So, like, there is value here. I don't know how good of it's at least a 4 out of 10. Maybe this plays higher than that, but I imagine it's probably around a 4 out of 10. Getaway Barrel, 3 and a red artifact. When it is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, reveal the top 13 cards of your library. Put a random creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you have to have a way to sack this. It's good if you have a way to sack it, but you have to have a way to sack it. Not playable unlimited at all, 0 out of 10. I mean, I guess it's like a 1 out of 10 because there's probably some deck where it's playable, but yeah, not playable, rare. Gloin the Mighty, 3 and a red, legendary Dwarf Warrior. At the beginning of your first main phase, add 2 red. I actually typically like those cards that ramp you at the beginning of your first main phase. So I don't hate that. 4 mana, 4/3 that gives you 2 mana every turn. Sure. Easy Pickings, 2 and a red. Easy Pickings deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. It's fine. I don't actually think that that is very good. You're likely to play this as just a 4 mana 4/3, but hey, you know, you never know when you're going to go up against that opponent that just has like 2 or 3 creatures with a 1. 3 would be insane. 2 would be great. 1 is fine. It's just a 3 mana removal spell for something that happens to have 1 toughness. Relatively particular, but I think the flip side of it is, or the alternate side, the creature side, whatever you want to call it, is totally playable too, right? 4 mana, 4/3, that gives you 2 mana every turn. So for me, easy 5 out of 10 because you can do either one and they're both okay. Goblin Town Flunkies. 1 in a red, 1/1 haste when it enters a mass goblin 1. Oh, cool. So it's like a 2 mana, 1/1 with haste that might get you another 1/1. 2 mana, 1/1 with haste that might get you another 1/1. Fine. 4 out of 10. Nothing crazy. Maybe even a 3 out of 10. It's really not that great. Gundabad Opportunist. 3 in a red, Goblin Rogue 4/2. When it enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. I typically like these effects. And this can trade on par. Like 4 mana 4/2 can trade on par. This is also the type of thing that like it has a good enters effect, so you could like sacrifice it to the warg thing that we saw earlier and things like that. So yeah, no, I mean typically I like these cards, right? Where it's basically draw effectively till the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Totally fine. Good card. 4 out of 10, maybe even a 5 out of 10. I like these effects a lot. Iron Hills Stalwart. 5 mana 4/5 reach trample. When it enters, attach target equipment you control up to 1 target creature you control. 5 mana 4/5 reach trample with some upside involving equipment. 4 out of 10. I think 5 mana 4/5 reach trample is 4 out of 10, and I just don't think this matters that much. If you happen to get it, great. I don't think it's doing a whole lot for you, though. The Last Light of Durin's Day, or just Last Light of Durin's Day. 1 in a red enchantment. Whenever a mountain you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. If it has 6 or more quest counters on it, sacrifice it. If you do, search your hand or library for a dragon card, put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. You have to be like mono red to play this in limited. So I'm going to say 1 out of 10 unless you're mono red and have a dragon card. Not playable. The Misty Mountains Cold. 2 in a red, create a treasure token. Then, if you control 4 or more treasure tokens, sacrifice the saga. If you do, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Yeah. Yeah, you play this. 3 mana treasures that ultimately can result in a 6/6 red dragon if you don't use it, or if you can make treasures in other ways. Yeah. There's like different arts for it. Cool though, yeah. No, you play this for sure. 3 mana that in due time can ultimately end up in a 6/6, and even if it didn't, it ramps you. Yeah. Very good card. 7 out of 10. Maybe even an 8 out of 10. This seems really strong. I mean, obviously the 6/6 flying dragon comes with time, but it doesn't like make you sack the treasures or anything. Misty Mountains Raider. 5 mana 4/4. Whenever you attack, whenever you attack, amass goblins 2. This is really good. Because this enters, you can attack that turn and get 2/2 out of it. Get 2/2 out of it. And if you're attacking like with the amassed goblins, it's probably already a really big creature. Let's say you've already amassed like 5, so you attack with a 5/5, it becomes a 7/7. Next turn, that becomes a 9/9. And this is just sitting back being a solid 4/4. Yeah, great card. 5 out of 10. I should say, again, great uncommon. Oin the Brave. Also, legendary common. Boo. 2 mana 1/3 with storied. As long as you have an enduring story, Oin gets +1/+0 and has haste. Okay, so 2 mana 1/3 might be a 2 mana 2/3 with haste. You can pay 1, tap, discard a card, draw a card. I mean, the filtering effect here is good. I don't love it. Obviously, looting is better than rummaging, but I think this is a totally fine card. If you are storied, it's actually decent, like 2 mana 2/3, but also if you're storied, you're not early game, so the 2 mana 2/3 part isn't actually that crazy. You're probably just gonna be happy as haste, so you can do this like the turn he comes out because you need to rummage something away. Yeah, somewhere in the 3 to 4 out of 10 range. I'm not like super impressed with it. Pinecone Strike. 1 in a red, choose 1 or both. Pinecone Strike deals 3 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile instead, or destroy target artifact token. Sure. 2 mana, deal 3 to a creature. So Lightning Strike. And if they happen to have an artifact token, I can also kill that. Fine by me. And it exiles instead of kills for a death effect or something like that. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. 5 mana premium removal card. 5 mana. 5 out of 10 premium removal card. Ragged Short Spear. 1 in a red equipment. When it enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2. That's not bad at all. And then it's just an equipment that sticks around. Yeah, all right. Well, that got worse. But 2 mana, ditch a card, draw 2. So you're going to want to do that every time. And then it just sticks around in the equipment decks. It's okay, but it's probably like a 3 out of 10. Smog the Great Calamity. Now notice this. Legendary common Smog the Great Calamity. So this dragon actually will show up pretty often. 7 mana, flying 5/5. It is what it is. 5 mana sorcery, Spew Flames deals 5 damage to target creature. Yeah, I like removal on a dragon that's coming. Like that's pretty good. So happy enough with that. Decent common, right? Like 5 mana, deal 5 to target creature is already just 4 out of 10. And then the fact that it then couples into being into a flying 5/5. I think solid enough. I don't know if that bumps it. It probably bumps it into like the 5 out of 10 category, but I'm still going to give it 4 out of 10. I'm still going to give it 4 out of 10. It's a nice top end, though. Nice top end. Removal top end combo. Smaug the Magnificent. Flying haste 4/3. Whenever he attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a treasure token. This card is dumb. 4 mana, flying haste 4/3. Whenever he attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target. If you already have treasures out, great. If not, he's going to start attacking, letting you ping out in any direction. So far, the best card we've seen. I don't think it's like insta-win, although at 4 mana, this is very, very good. This is extremely good for 4 mana. So personally, I'm going to say like 9 out of 10. I don't think it quite has the game-winning edge of a 10 out of 10, but easy 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. Very good card. Smaug's Fury. 1 in a red instant. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains reach and first strike until end of turn. Sure. Fine combat trick. Nothing crazy. Nothing that sticks around. 3 out of 10. Snow Slope Hunter. 2 in a red. Creature Goblin Ranger. 2/3 sack. Another creature or artifact. Exile the top card of your library. May play it until the end of your next turn. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn. That's not the end of the world. 3 mana, 2/3 that you can eventually just get some impulse draw off of. Probably still just a 4 out of 10, but it's a nice effect. Stone Giant of High Pass. 7 mana, 7/7. When it enters or attacks, create a 3/1 colorless wall artifact creature token with defender named Stone Boulder. 2 in a red, sack an artifact. This creature deals 4 damage to any target. I like the flavor of the giant just chucking the stones at people. Enters or attacks, right? So 7 mana, 7/7 that makes you a 3/1. Whenever it attacks, you get more 3/1s, and you can use those 3/1s to just start yeeting at opponents. Very good card. Strong 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 category. Really happy with this one. Red has been very strong so far. Thorin Mountain King. 3 in a red, dwarf noble, 3/4 trample. Whenever he enters, attach any number of target equipments you control to target creature you control. When one or more equipments become attached to that creature this way, that creature deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature. Huh. So like 4 mana, 3/4 trample that probably acts as a removal spell and lets you skip out on paying equipment costs. Very good value in the equipment decks. Very good value in the equipment decks. So, I mean, generally just good value anyways. You have to have an equipment, though, to trigger this part. That's the downside. You have to have it. This thing's bad if you don't have removal. So because of that, I'm going to bump it down to like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, but it has very high ceiling. Tidings of War. 1 red, a Mass Goblins 1. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, a Mass Goblins 3 instead with flashback 4. Sure. 1 mana 1/1. Later, it becomes a 4 mana 3/3 off of the same card. 4 out of 10. Totally fine. All right. We are on to green. We're getting there, people. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Addercup. 1 in a green spider. Reach death touch. Landfall. Whenever land you control enters the creature +1/+1 till end of turn. I mean, the landfall part really doesn't matter, but 2 mana, 2/1 at reach death touch is a playable card. I like that for you don't swing at me or you use a removal spell on this. This eats a removal spell. Thank you very much. So because of that, I like playing cards like this. Maybe even a 5 out of 10. I think reach death touch or like flying death touch are very good cards. Bejeweled Warg. 1 in a green, trample 3/2. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on target wolf you control, which can be them, or create a treasure token. I mean, 2 mana 3/2 that if they don't have an answer for, just becomes a 4/3, just becomes a 5/4. Like, I like this card a lot. Easy 6 out of 10, maybe even higher. The treasure token's also good. Bjorn Reluctant Host. Human Bear Shapeshifter, trample 5/5. 5 mana, trample 5/5, totally fine. Till Intent. 1 in a green sorcery adventure. You may play an additional land this turn. Interesting. Doesn't actually go get a land for you. It just lets you play an additional land this turn. That's really weak. But I think the 5 mana trampling 5/5 is a pretty good other side of this card. So 4 out of 10. Not the strongest adventure we've seen. Bjorn the Fierce. Obviously, here we have him in bear form. 3 and 2 green bear shapeshifter warrior. We had human bear shapeshifter. Now we have bear shapeshifter warrior. 5 mana, 6/6 trample. Other bears you control get +2/+2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a trample counter on up to 1 target creature you control. It becomes a bear in addition to its other types. Then, if you control 3 or more bears, draw 2 cards. Yeah, it is bomby. This is real bomby. 5 mana, 6/6 trample. At the beginning of that combat, choose another creature. It is now a bear, which means it's also +2/+2. Assuming it survives the next combat, you get another one. And then you're starting to draw 2 cards. Very good. Very good card. There's another 9 out of 10. This might be 10 out of 10. This might be 10 out of 10 bomb for this set so far. Extremely good card. Bjorn's Hospitality. 1 in a green landfall. Whenever land you control, just put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's fine. 5 and 2 green. This champion becomes a bear creature in addition to its other types and gains its creature power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. So 2 mana landfall. Buff up your other creatures. If you get to 7 mana, becomes a bear creature, which is probably like at least a 6/6. I mean, sure. 4 out of 10, because I don't know how well the landfall part of it's going to play, but sure, 4 out of 10. Bowside Wanderers. 4 and 2 green. When it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. May reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, so 6 mana, 4/4. When you play a land, it becomes a 6/6 for that turn, but that's nothing too crazy. So 6 mana, 4/4 that lets you draw a card, but it's not just draw a card. It's like look at the top 4, reveal a permanent. I mean, it's pretty good. It's just not like crazy. Probably 4 out of 10. Cantankerous Keepers. 5 and a green elf soldier. It has affinity for elves, although we haven't seen like a ton of elves. Like green blue obviously does have elves. When this creature enters, mill 4 cards, then put all elf cards from among them into your hand. I mean, you're probably not going to hit a whole lot of elf cards in the mill 4, right? Like, you're going to hit some, depending on your build. And if this is, I mean, for affinity for elves, you probably want to be playing a lot of elves. So this often is like 4 or 5 mana for 3 that might get you like a card or 2. It might be like a 5 out of 10. It's really not crazy. Dancing from Dark to Dawn. 3 and 2 green. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put X plus and plus 1 counters on target creature you control, where X is that spell's mana value. Whenever a land you control enters, create... Oh, this is great. This is strong. 5 mana, whenever a land you control enters, create a 2/2 green bear. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, put X plus and plus 1 counters on target creature you control, where X is that spell's mana value. Seems very good to me. I mean, yes, obviously it can get blown out with some enchantment removal, but this seems extremely strong. Like an 8 out of 10. Easy. Down in the Valley. 2 and a green, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's okay. This saga gains landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1 green elf creature token. Okay, so this is going to be 3 mana, go get a land in hand, play it, get a 1/1, and then elves you control get +1/+0 and gain vigilance until end of turn. In a heavy elf deck, this is totally fine. But okay, actually, sorry, I didn't see that this triggers twice. Generally speaking, 3 mana, 1/1, put a land in hand. Some elf synergy, nothing too crazy here. This is probably like a 5 or a 6. Galleon Elven King's Butler. 2 and 2 green. Whenever he attacks, choose up to 1 other target creature you control. Its base power and toughness becomes equals to Galleon's power and toughness until end of turn. So 4 mana, 4/4 that attacks and can buff up another creature. 4 out of 10. This doesn't seem like crazy, but 4 out of 10. Gigantic Big Bear. 7 mana, 10/7. The spell can't be countered, hexproof, and haste. Interesting. 7 mana, don't counter me. I've got a 10/7 hexproof haste. I mean, don't sleep on hexproof. This thing can come out of nowhere. But it doesn't have trample. Yeah. I think it's good, but it's not like crazy. 7 out of 10. It's probably in that like 6-ish range. Guardian of the Halls. 1 and a green, elf soldier, 2/2 trample. You can pay 7, put 3 +1/+1 counters on this creature. You can just keep doing that though, right? So in the late game, this becomes a good mana sink. Totally fine, right? 2 mana, 2/2. That late game says this is a problem. Sure. 4 out of 10, but still, sure, you can play it. Little bear. Oh, they're adorable. 3 mana creature flash. When it enters, untap another target creature you control. If that creature is a bear, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I love that there's bear synergy here, guys. I love that there's a bear deck. Even the littlest bears joined in important bear meetings and moonlit dances. Oh. 3 mana, 3/2 that untaps another target creature, so a little bit combat tricky there. And you can put a +1/+1 counter on it if it's a bear. Probably still just like a 4 out of 10, but not bad. Not the end of the world. Mirkwood Pathmaker. 2 and a green. Power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Just 3 mana, lands you control, power and toughness. Generally speaking, I think this is pretty good, right? If this comes down in the late game, it's 3 mana for a big something. If it's early game, you're not casting it till you generate 3 mana. Sure, if you don't have a ton of lands, like you don't want to like treasure ramp into something like this, but generally speaking, this is a 3 mana 3/3 that just gets bigger as the game goes on. Good. 5 out of 10. Nasty Little Rabbit. 1 green, 1/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control a creature power 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. That's fun. That it actually just like gets bigger. There's gonna be a huge rabbit in some games. There's gonna be some games where there's just a huge rabbit. Yeah, I think this is fun. 1 mana 1/2 that just later on can get bigger. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it enough. Do I like it enough to say 5 out of 10? I don't know if I like it that much. Funny and fun, 4 out of 10. The Notary Hobbits. 3 and 2 green, 1/1. Whenever it enters, if they're not a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of them, except the tokens aren't legendary. Tap to add a colorless for each halfling you control. Interesting. So 5 mana, create 3 1/1s that tap for a colorless. I mean, it ramps really well, but at 5 mana, you're pretty much already playing your big spells. In limited, I don't think this is actually that good. Yeah, in limited, I'm not like super impressed with this. It's probably like a 3 out of 10, maybe even a 2. Like I just don't think you really play this card. Maybe I'm mistaken. But yeah, I really don't think you play that card. Old Fat Spider, 6 mana, 6 power, 7 toughness, reach. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls. Draw a card. I like these a lot. 6 mana, reach, good body, great blocker. If you attack, it can't be blocked by small stuff, so they're going to have to at least throw something decent in front of it. And if they remove it, you get to replace it. You just up a card. Really strong. This might even be a 6 out of 10. Really strong uncommon here. Ordinary Bear. They printed a vanilla creature. 4 mana, 4/5. Just a bear. Just a 4 mana, 4/5. Probably not like super playable because it's just a 4 mana, 4/5, but 3 out of 10. 4 out of 10 because I like the bear deck, but really it's a 3 out of 10. Part in Friendship. 4 and a green. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. If its mana value is less than or equal to the number of lands you control, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. So you have to have the time to set this up. You have to have a board worth of creatures. Now the good thing is small creatures can flip into big creatures with this. So I don't think this is bad. I just don't think that it's great. It's probably like a 4 out of 10 at rare. Not typically very good. Quarrel, 1 and a green. Target creature control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Sure, just bite down. Punch spells are very good. Punch spells are good. This is going to be pretty solid removal, all things considered. You obviously have to have a creature to do this, but yeah, bite down. 4 out of 10. Good removal. Radagast of Roscoble. I don't know if that's how you say that. 2 and 2 green, 2/5. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast and can be cast as though it had flash. That's pretty cool. 4 mana, 2/5 that just makes all your creatures cost 2 less is very good. And then gives them flash. This is a really strong card. It's probably like an 8 out of 10. Through the Forest Gate, 6 and 2 green. Look at the top 20 cards of your library. Put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. You gain 8 life. Top 20 cards. In the late game, which is the only time you're casting this in limited, you haven't won, your opponent hasn't won. 8 life is fine. You can already cast anything you want, though. All this does is get rid of the lands in the top 20 cards. I don't think it's super playable. Probably like a 2 out of 10. Unfortunate. You don't really want to, like, ramping only has so much value, and it's not in the late game. Yeah, I'm going to say 2 out of 10. Troll Negotiations. 2 and 2 green. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Then it fights target creature an opponent controls. Okay, expensive removal, but the counters are nice. Helps you get that. Like, an issue with fight spells is that it's not always big enough. However, 4 mana is pretty expensive for this. I'm not willing to call any removal unless it's just unless it's just horrible 3 out of 10. But this does feel like a pretty weak 4 out of 10 removal spell, especially for uncommon. I expected a little bit better. I won't lie. I expected a little better. Warg Tactics. 1 and a green, instant. Choose one. Destroy target creature with flying. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control against trample and hexproof until end of turn. And it's just like Snakeskin Veil with potential flying creature like destruction upside. Sure. I think playing Snakeskin Veil is totally fine. I think having another option is even better. Still going to give it like a 4 out of 10, but 1 and a green, Wargling. 2 mana 2/2 with Ferocious. Whenever this creature attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, until end of turn, this creature gets +1/+0, and creatures you control gain trample. Giving all creatures you control trample, not bad. It does require this guy attacking, and he's going to attack as a 3/2, so he's probably dying when he does attack. And you also have to have other cards available. So, like, I don't love it. I think it's probably just fine, you know. 3 out of 10, maybe bordering into the 4 out of 10 category. We're getting there, people. Wilderland Scrounger. 4 and a green wolf. 3/6. So right now, 5 mana, 3/6. Whenever this creature attacks, while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This got a lot better, right? This buffing the whole squad, including himself. So this is a 5 mana, 3/6. You do have to have a different creature that triggers the power 4 or greater. Well, I mean, it could be him, but you have to buff him up. Like, he doesn't trigger it alone. But it's really good upside. I mean, as soon as this is a 4/7 for 5, you got upside on just him and you buffed everything else. So I'm going to say 5 out of 10. Pretty good top end. It does have to attack, but... And I can see a world where this is just a 5 mana 3/6 because you don't have another creature power 4 or greater, or there's not a good attack for you. So maybe it should be at 4. Wood Elves, 2 and a green. When it enters, search your library for a forest card, put that card into the battlefield, and shuffle. Yeah, 3 mana, 1/1 creature that ramps you is always going to be playable. Now, forest card means you're not going to get color fixing off of this, but I think it's definitely still playable. Right? Yeah, I think it's definitely still playable. I'll say 4 out of 10, but definitely still playable. And maybe it should be higher. Ramp is pretty good in decks. Woodland Weave Master. Y'all, I won't lie, the uncomfy is starting to set in. The uncomfy is starting to set in. I'm checking my phone because it went off 27 times. Oh, you messaged me? Yeah, it looks like you did. But no, I was checking my phone because I got like 7,000 school notifications. Woodland Weave Master, 1 and a green, 1/2 vigilance. Whenever another elf you control enters, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Tap, add X mana of any one color where X is this creature's power. Spend this mana only to cast elf spell. Yeah. All right. Only elf spells makes the fact that you can tap this for mana not that great. So I'm thinking of this more as like a 2 mana, 1/2 vigilance that occasionally gets better. Which, like, yes, you're wanting to play somewhat elf tribal here. I assume green blue is like elf tribal or something like that, but yeah, I mean, in that case, you're getting good value off of this because an elf enters and you get 2 mana and you get to attack with this first, then you get 2 mana. Like, okay, yeah, there's good value there. I don't think it's a bad card, but I also don't think it's like broken. I'm gonna say 4 out of 10. All right, we have made it to multicolored. Bard, King of Dale. I've already seen this card. This card is so dumb in constructed. For an Azorius, so 6 mana, 3/5, reach vigilance. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw on each of your draw steps, you draw 2 cards instead. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. This is incredible with Recruit. This is incredible with any of the card draw effects. It's also on a body that's just already pretty good. This thing is great. This thing is an easy, I would say 9 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10. Very good card in limited. I'll say 8 out of 10. Bard the Bowman, 1 and an Azorius, 3 mana, 1/3 reach. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains lifelink until the end of turn. I don't love it. 3 mana, 1/3 reach is bad. If you manage to pull off draw your second card each turn, okay, it got better because you're buffing something else up. Probably want to trigger this twice for it to be worth it, and that's just asking a lot. So, generally speaking, not a huge fan of this card, maybe like 3 out of 10. Bard's Company, 2 and an Azorius. You may cast a spell as though it had flash if you control a human. 4 mana, 2/3. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, recruit. That part's pretty good. And of course, the white human soldier creature tokens that you're recruiting are going to be 2/2s as long as this exists. Totally fine rare, right? Like buffing your squad. This doesn't even have to be other humans, right? It's just other creatures you control get +1/+1. So that part's good. But, you know. 4 mana, 2/3 that might have flash that buffs the squad and recruits. It's good. It's solid. It's at least a 6 out of 10. I don't know if it bumps higher than that, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Bifur Melodic Rider, 4 and 2 Boros hybrid. 6 mana, 4/5 with Storied. Whenever Bifur enters or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Okay, so you enters and you get it with that. As long as you have Enduring Story, if an ability of a dwarf you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. That part's really cool because the dwarf, red-white dwarfs is very good at accomplishing Storied from what I've seen so far. So that part kind of makes sense. And when he enters, you're getting to put a +1 on something. So generally speaking, this seems like a pretty decent uncommon, and you can run it in white something, you can run it in red something, or you can run it in white-red. So pretty good card. 5 out of 10. Bolg of the North. 3 and a Rakdos 5/5 for 5. When he enters, you may sack another creature. When you do, he deals damage equal to the creature's power to another target creature. If excess damage was dealt this way, amass Goblin's X, where X is that excess damage. Not bad. 5 mana, 5/5 that lets you just fling one of your creatures at something else. And if it's more than enough, you even get a little bit back from it. Totally fine. Yeah, totally fine. I think like 4 to 5 out of 10. Bolg's Company, Rakdos, Goblin Soldier 2/2. It has haste. As long as you control another goblin, you can pay 2, sack another goblin to add a Rakdos. I don't know if you're going to need to ramp that much, but obviously there are things in Rakdos that could be a pretty good. I don't know. This doesn't seem great though. 2 mana, 2/2 with haste, maybe, that can tap for mana. It's okay. It's probably like a 4. It's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10 in my book, though. Probably 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. I just don't know if I'm really doing this. And then it's just like a 2 mana 2/2 with haste. That's kind of hard to cast. The Chief Warg, 2 and a Golgari, 4 mana 3/3 menace with ferocious. Whenever you attack while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. That part's really nice. Because this creature doesn't have to be it. If you find a way to buff this creature can be it. But just whenever you attack, as long as there's a creature power 4 or greater. And it doesn't even have to be a creature you're attacking with, right? Like, whenever you attack, as long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card, lose a life. Yeah, this is a really solid uncommon in Golgari. You got to pull off the 4 power, but once you do, like, card draw engines, great. 5 out of 10. Chief Warg's Company. Oh, okay. So I'm seeing here like Bolg's Company, Bard's Company. Excuse me. Okay, let's see the Chief Wargs Company. One and a what am I looking at? One and a Golgari 5/3 trample. Can't attack unless you control 2 or more wolves. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a holy. Yeah, this is great. 3 mana 5/3 trample. Can't attack unless you control 2 or more wolves. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 2/2 green wolf. Yeah, you play 3 mana, create a 2/2 green wolf on upkeep. Jesus. And it's on a big creature that eventually can attack and is a good blocker, and it has trample. Yep. Not to mention, you can hang this back, trigger Ferocious, just swing in with some 2/2s. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a great card. Very strong rare here. Probably 8 out of 10. This thing's hard to deal with. They drop this on turn 3. Whew, I don't know what you're doing. Dane's Company. I know we saw Dane earlier. Dane's Company. Red and a white, so Boros here. Boros 2/2. This creature has lifelink as long as you control another dwarf. I think red-white is the dwarf synergy, right? Typically, that's what we see in our multicolor cards, so there you go. When it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a dwarf or equipment card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library. Yeah, sure, I like it. 2 mana dwarf card that says, go get me a dwarf or equipment in the top 4. Seems like a good 2-drop. Seems like a really good 2-drop. And it might have lifelink. Yeah, I would say 6 out of 10. Duskwatch Hunter. 2 and a Golgari. 3/1. This creature can't be blocked by tokens. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So it could be a 3 mana 4/2. That can't be blocked by tokens. I mean, that doesn't seem that bad. 4 out of 10. Dwalin, Weapon Master, 1 and a Boros hybrid. So 2 mana, 2/1 Dwarf Warrior with first strike. Whenever he enters or attacks, put a hone counter on each equipment you control. Oh. Each hone counter of an equipment grants +1/+0 to the equipped creature. That's a new thing. Hone counter. So he's like sharpening their blades. That's pretty cool. I like the flavor of that. It's a little bit rough to track. I don't think I'd love to do that, but at least the flavor's cool. I'll give you that much. The flavor's cool. 2 mana, 2/1 with first strike. Already just fine. That's playable. And then enters or attacks. Start honing equipment in the equipment sub-theme. So sure. 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6 out of 10. It's not like crazy, but I think it's good. 2 and 2 Azorius hybrid. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. So 4 mana, +2/+2 and flying. Pay 2 and 2 Azorius hybrid. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature you control with power 1 or less. That's rather specific. I guess that's mainly going to be targeting like... It's mainly going to be targeting the little human tokens that you can make with Recruit and make them 3/3 flyers. But it is something to do with the mana that lets you get this back from the graveyard, kind of lets you recast it essentially from the graveyard. I think that makes it better. This part wasn't great, but at least it's like, hey, well, you know, if I have something small enough, I can eventually get in with it. I don't think it bumps it past a 4, but it at least makes me think I might play it, so I'll do a 4 out of 10. Fearsome Goblin Pair, 2 and a Rakdos hybrid, 1/1. When it dies, amass goblins 4. Now that seems pretty good to me. 3 mana, 1/1. When it dies, amass goblins 4. Seems like a very good card. Easy 5 out of 10. Could be bordering on 6 with some of the like sack synergies. Goblin Plate Mail, 1 and a Rakdos hybrid. Whenever this equipment enters, amass goblins 1, then attach this equipment to the amassed army. Equipped creature has +1/+0 and has menace. So this is a way to give menace to your army. It also creates a creature to start out with, and then later as you buff up that army, it has menace. It's not bad. Menace on the big creature is pretty valuable. It's totally fine. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. The Great Goblin. 1 and 2 Rakdos hybrid Goblin Noble 3/2. 3 mana 3/2. Whenever you put one or more counters on a Goblin, Orc, or army, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. Sure, just start pinging down opponent. Whenever another Goblin, Orc, or army you control dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn. Not bad in sort of a go wide Goblin-y tribal deck here. I mean, 3 mana 3/2 with a good bit of upside. Seems strong. Doesn't seem like broken, but probably like a 6 out of 10 3-drop. Aha. We had like super gigantic bear. Here we have large bear. 3 and 2 Golgari hybrid. Reach, trample, haste, 5/5. 5 mana 5/5 with reach, trample, and haste. Solid, man, right? 5 mana slam down a 5/5 that attacks that turn with trample and has reach just because. Yeah, it's a good card, right? 5 mana slam down a 5/5. And it's a bear for all the bear synergies. I mean, I don't know if it breaks the 4 out of 10, but it's a fun 4 out of 10, right? Just has the 3 keywords. Might be a 5 out of 10. Oh boy, here we go. All right, Elf, Mirkwood Nurturer, 2 and a Simic. There we go. 2 and a Simic hybrid. When this creature enters, return up to one other target permanent you control to its owner's hand. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It doesn't have flash, but it can let you re-trigger enters abilities, which we've seen in blue from time to time. And this is then a 4/3. It's okay. 4 out of 10. Oh, next page. Nori, Teller of Tales, 1 and a Boros hybrid Dwarf Bard. Whenever Nori attacks, target attacking creature gains first strike until end of turn. 2 mana, 2/2 that can give another himself or another thing first strike. Fine. 4 out of 10. Patient Instructor, 2 and an Azorius hybrid Human Citizen Vigilance. Whenever this creature enters, recruit. 3 mana, 2/2 Vigilance that recruits. 4 out of 10. Sylvan Reveler, 2 and a Simic, 4 mana 3/2. When it enters, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a land card this way, put it from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. 4 mana 3/2 that draws a card and then potentially ramps you. And it has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may pay 1, a green and a blue. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, that's not bad if it dies later on. So 4 mana 3/2 ramp you. This is not bad at all, right? I don't know if you'd really want to get it back desperately, but I like the ramp you part of it. Yeah, no, I like this a lot. Pretty good card. 5 out of 10. Smaug, Wicked Worm. 3 in a Rakdos, 5/5. 5 mana flying, 5/5 dragon. When he enters, create X tap treasure tokens where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. Unfortunate that, might be 3, might be 0. But, let's just assume that it's probably like 0 to 1 on average. Whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. I mean, there are treasure synergies in the colors, so you're going to be able to get this second ability. But you play a 5 mana flying 5/5, right? You just do. So, really good card. Oh, is this the one that's going to have like the... No, huh. I was going to say, like, stupid valuable card, but I think it's good. I don't think it's like crazy. Obviously, if you get like 2 to 4 treasures off of this, it's dumb. Even just 1 treasure being able to trigger this now, it's really good, but probably like a 7 out of 10. Thorin Oakenshield, Boros, Dwarf Noble, Trample, Storied, 3/2. So 2 mana, 3/2 Trample. As long as you have an Enduring Story, artifacts and creatures you control have Ward 1. Sure, just generally make your things more protected. 2 mana, 3/2 with Trample, already solid. Easy 5 out of 10. Maybe bordering on 6. I don't know if the Ward 1 is that crazy, though. Probably 5 out of 10. Thranduil, Sindarin Liege. 2 and 2 Simic hybrids. Elf Noble. Other elves you control get +1/+1, 2/3. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1. This is all good here for like elf go wide synergies. And then you have Sylvan Rally. 1 and 2 Simic hybrid sorcery. Mill 4 cards and put up to 2 land cards from among them into your hand. It's not bad. And not bad. 4 mana, 2/3, elf buffer, makes elf when lands enter. This is a solid card. Easy 5 out of 10. Again, maybe bordering on 6 out of 10 for an uncommon. Very good. Then we have Thranduil the Elven King. 2 and a Sultai. 5 mana, 5/6. He has all activated abilities of all elf cards in your graveyard. Whenever another legendary elf you control enters, draw 2 cards and discard a card. Yeah, very good card, right? You play this, 5 mana, 5/6. Might have some abilities, might not. And then you play legendary elves and you just start drawing and going crazy. Excuse me. Great card. Easy 7 out of 10. Maybe higher. Thranduil's Company. 2 and a Simic. As long as you control another elf, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. I mean, you probably will control another elf in Simic here, but like, you're also going to run out of lands eventually. Whenever a land you control enters, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It gains vigilance until end of turn. That's a really nice landfall, though. That's a really nice landfall. So 4 mana, 3/4 that lets you play additional lands, and the landfall starts buffing things up. Very strong card, all things considered. Very strong card. Give it a 6 out of 10. Tom, Bert, and William. These are the trolls. 3 and a Golgari troll. So 5 mana, 5/5. Pay 1, sack another creature. Draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power, then discard a card. That's a lot of card draw, depending on what you sack. When Tom, Bert, and William die, if they were a creature, return them to the battlefield. They are an artifact. They're no longer a creature. That's a really cool way to have them turn to stone. That is a really creatively cool way to have them turn to stone. I'll admit that much. And then you can still do the sack another creature. I mean, seems like a good draw effect in the late game. 5 mana, 5/5 with a good bit of upside. So like 7 out of 10. The Arkenstone. 5 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+1 at the beginning of your end step. Draw a card. I mean, buff the board and just draw a second card every turn. Yeah, you play that. And then it has Seek the Heart. 2 and a white sorcery adventure. Search your library for a legendary creature card. Reveal it. Put it into your hand. Then shuffle. Also pretty good. Just go get whatever you need here. This card's great. Yeah, this card's great. That being said, there are going to be moments where it doesn't exactly do a whole lot. So I don't think it's like 10 out of 10 bomb, but I think it's easily like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, especially with both of these effects. The Black Arrow. 3 mana, legendary artifact equipment with flash. When it enters, it deals 1 damage to any target. If a dragon is dealt damage this way, destroy it, which is very flavorful. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has reach, and you can equip for 1. I mean, the 1 damage we've shown can hit things, and there are artifact equipment synergies, so it's not like this card is completely useless, but generally speaking, this feels kind of weak. Yes, it will feel very good if it hits a dragon. Like, it will feel very good if it hits a dragon, but that feels more of like a best of 3 type of like slot in effect, in my opinion. So 3 out of 10. Dwarven Mattock. 2 mana artifact equipment. When it enters, attach it to target dwarf you control. That's nice that they kind of have synergy with the dwarf deck of this gets cheap. So 2 mana, +2/+2, and ward 1 to a dwarf. Or you can pay to equip 3. In the dwarf deck, this is good. Generally, if it's not in the dwarf deck, this card's not good, but it's only for the Boros dwarf deck, so is what it is. I think it's fine. 4 out of 10. Maybe even 3. I don't love it. Giant's Boulder. 1 mana artifact. When it enters, scry 2. You can pay 1, tap it, add 1 mana of any color. So it's color fixing. Pay 7, tap it, sack it, destroy target permanent. I mean, 1 mana scry 2, color fixing, and then later a destroy effect really isn't like that bad. It's at least a 4 out of 10. It's at least playable at that level. Glamdring Foe Hammer. 2 mana, legendary artifact equipment. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is equipped creature's power. I mean, that's pretty good. It's 2 mana and equipped 2. You'd have to have a lot of instants and sorceries to get a ton out of this. Mill 6 cards, then put all instant and sorcery cards from among them into your hand. Again, you're going to have to be relatively high in instants and sorceries, but if you are, totally playable. It's fine. It's not like great. In my opinion, this is pretty weak and limited just because you have to be in like a very hefty instant and sorcery deck. And I didn't exactly see like a ton of ways to win using just that. So for me in limited, it's probably like a 3 out of 10. I don't think I'm running this most of the time, but maybe I'm not thinking about the right deck. Key to the side door. 1 mana, 2 tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Again, that's technically a win con. 1 tap, discard a legendary card with the same name as a legendary permanent you control. Draw 2 cards. Very interesting on the like doubling up on the legendaries here. I like that there's at least something that can fix that, but at the end of the day, this is basically like a 1-drop artifact that doesn't do a whole lot except for try to get in with a creature. So like, it's okay for evasion, but it feels like a lot for that. Like, it's a card and it costs mana, and yeah, so I just don't think this is super playable. Probably also like a 3 out of 10, maybe even a 2 out of 10. I don't love this card. My Precious. This one's good. I've seen this one. 3 mana, equip creature has hexproof and can't be blocked. Equip 2 and pay 2 life. Totally fine, right? So this is, yes, this is 5, but has hexproof and can't be blocked is very good. And you have the Allure of Power. 1 and a black, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. Obviously, you kind of want to be in like white-black or something like that with like the tokens that you can sack, or like you can even be in like Rakdos with like the 1/1 that becomes a 4/4. Like there's a lot of good things that you can do with this, but I think this is a very good card, all things considered. Very, very good card. Easy 7 out of 10 for me. Easy 7 out of 10. Orcrist Goblin Cleaver. 3 mana. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has trample. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, choose a creature type. Create a treasure token for each creature you control of that type. So this is a typal artifact. I think in limited, this is going to be a little tough just because typal isn't always going to get pulled off. I mean, you're going to be able to do it. +2/+2 and has trample. This is expensive. It is absolutely expensive. And you're probably pulling this off either late game, in which case the treasures aren't that good, or early game, you're taking multiple turns to do this. So I don't think it's as broken as it sounds, because it sounds broken when you first hear it. In constructed, this is dumb. But I think in limited, it's probably like a 4 out of 10. I really don't think this is actually like crazy. It's not bad, but I don't think it's crazy. I think it's a little too expensive in limited, in my personal opinion. 2 mana flash when it enters, Sting, Bilbo's Sword. 2 mana flash when it enters, put a hone counter on Sting for each creature target opponent controls. Attach Sting to up to 1 target creature you control. I mean, that's not bad, right? Flash combat trick, essentially. And then it's, if your opponent went wide, Sting is pretty dang solid. I mean, I guess Sting is only ever going to be +X+0, where X and 0 is number of creatures your opponent controls. Which is pretty expensive, considering to re-equip that the creature that this gets attached to is probably going to die because it doesn't buff toughness at all. I don't think this is great. Maybe like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Even then it's, I don't even know if it deserves that much. Thor's Map. 2 mana legendary artifact. When it enters, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, fine. Go get a land. And then 2 tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Okay, so it just lets you loot. It's fine. If you need artifact synergies or something like that, or legendary synergy, like this is good for pulling off the story, but that's kind of it. Feels a little weak to me. I don't mind the search for a basic and put it into your hand, though. That part actually makes it probably pretty good because it's like 2 mana draw a card or 2 mana draw a land. That land is color fixing. It doesn't ramp you, but it is color fixing. And then later you can rummage with it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. At least a 4 out of 10. This is a perfectly fine card. Well-Worn Spatula. 1 mana equipment. When it enters, you gain 2 life. Equip creature gets +1/+1, and then just as equip cost 1. Probably a 3 out of 10. I mean, you might play it in the equipment decks, but even then it's not great. It is something to like blink because of the life gain, but if you're blinking to gain 2 life, you are not blinking properly. Yeah, like 3 out of 10. Elven Passage. Tap, pay 1 life, stack this land, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. You may behold an elf. If you do, untap that land. Interesting. I mean, it seems good. I have a hard time rating lands, but it seems good. You probably play this just a color fix, and it'd be an evolving wilds that you had to pay a life for most of the time. But in the elf deck, it's obviously very good. Let's see. Elven King's Halls. Lands, enters tapped. Taps for a Simic. You can pay 4 and tap it. Sack it. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target elf you control. I mean, it's fine. You'll play it for the dual land if you're in that color. Do these all do it? Goblin or Orc, same thing. It's fine. 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Hobbit Hole, sack it, search for basic land card, put onto the battlefield, tap and shuffle, but it has halfling cycling. Halfling cycling is pretty crazy. Again, fine. 3 or 4 out of 10. Yep, this is the dwarf land. This is going to be the human land. Yep, all right, cool. Okay, cool. All of them, 4 out of 10. Lonely Mountain. Tapped unless you control an equipment. Pay 5, tap it, create a 2/2 red dwarf creature token. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each equipment you control. I mean, this just making 2/2s is very, very good. This being like 4, maybe even 3 mana, tap it, so a total of like 4 or 5 mana. By making a 2/2 every turn, hey, they're going to have to find an answer for it. So this is solid. This is like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Mirkwood is the one for bear, spider, or wolf. Okay, cool. At least this has a few more options, so maybe this one's slightly better, but probably still 4 out of 10. And then boom, we're into our basics. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was 2.5 hours of card review. And my throat hurts. So we are going to be calling it there. But thank you guys so much. If you're watching this live, thank you for tuning in, chatting, all of that. It was greatly appreciated. We love and appreciate you guys. If you want to catch us live and you're watching this on YouTube, you can over at twitch.tv/rollschool. And if you wonder when we go live, we wonder the same thing. I joke, we do have some schedules for the things that we stream, but not all of them. And if you want to know when we're streaming, our Discord does send out a notification, so that would be a great place to check it out. Other than that, if you are seeing this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, any and all of it's greatly appreciated down below. We wanted to hit the big 450 before summer ended, and technically speaking, summer is only just now ending for kids, and we have hit 450, so thank you guys so much for the support and the love. You guys are what makes Rollsicle so great. We will see you guys in whatever comes next. Until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor. And we will see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.